You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are tuning to Apartment 5B, hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad in effect with me, as always. My brother JR, what's going on, the R&B guru?
What's up? Good to be here.
All right. One of the dopest MCs you might not know, but you need to find out to Chicago. We got my man, I Am God. Your name gets brought up on this show all the time from somebody, so it's a blessing. What's going on, good brother?
Chilling, man. I'm happy to be here. Appreciate you having me, man. Chicago will never forget how to rap. Know that.
No doubt. One thing, and I'll get through this once we go through everybody. My brother Trey Lee, my OG, my old head from Philly. What's going on, good brother?
All is well, man. Good to be here. Good to be back, man. Good to see y'all.
No doubt. My brother from Mount Vernon, Amir. Pete Rock's first solo MC who signed to True Soul Records. He's doing his Chicago right now, brushing the waves, getting them right. You know what I mean? So, you already know the pedigree of that. This is Pete Rock's first MC signed to True Soul. So,
you see him?
In Chicago bag tonight, who's watching Poetic Justice before the show started. So, you know what I mean? And then we got my brother right here, Vern. We got the Idle Mind joining out right now. What's going on, good brother?
What up, man? You know what it is. Happy to be here.
All right, no doubt. Yo, yes. Here's the thing. So last week, I don't even know how we got on this shit on Twitter. I'm always starting some shit. And somebody said something about Lil' Kim's verse on Quiet Storm. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But it wasn't better than Prodigy's. Prodigy had it all to himself, and it was originally called White Lines. You know what I mean? And it was P just going in for 3 straight bars. There was no half. Nobody else was on it. From what I heard, this was supposed to be for H&IC. But the song has such a bubble on the underground that the label wanted it to be the new Mobb Deep single. And that's why we got the remix with Kim and Havoc's verse. You know what I mean? So I was telling people like, yo, Kim's verse is cool. You know what I mean? But I've always preferred the original verse to that, because I'm like, yo, Prodigy put on a motherfucking clinic on that song. I live my lifetime in between the paper's lines, like my chain hang down in my dick, my piece bang glass table, like, dog, it was like a rap fucking clinic that P put on, which had me starting to think, what are songs that were like rap clinics that you're just like, because I don't know where that came from. I'm just tweeting. Niggas is pissing me off on this Lil' Kim shit. Niggas like, that's Kim's hardest verse. I'm like, nigga, you ever heard Queen Bitch? I'll take half a hardcore over that verse. You know, niggas like, oh, Kim made the song hot. No, Kim made the song get on the radio and get in the clubs. That's what Kim did. That if you was a hip-hop head, you already knew from the door what P did was crazy. There's so many quotables on that. So I'm loving this show because, like I said before we got started, I've got 4 MCs that I love, that I respect, that can spit at an elite level. Guys from Chicago, Trey's Philly, Amir's New York, Vern is LA. So we're looking at 4 different sections. And I want to know, when were rap clinics put on for y'all? And when me and Trey was texting the other day, he's like, yo, all right, tell me a little bit more. I'm like, all right, maybe 5 times that you said, nigga, why do I even rap? Like, you heard some shit and was just like, yo, why do I even rap? What I love about my OG Trey, he's like, yeah, that shit ain't never happened. So give me something else. Like, take me another thing. I'm like, all right, let me think about something. Okay, when was it 5 times that you heard something and you was like, yo, I got to step my game up? You know what I mean? Like, if you a hooper, you went to the gym and you nice, but another nigga came in and he ain't bust your ass, but, you know, he put in work and you like, oh, okay, I need to get up some more shots. So those things like that. So I'm intrigued. JR is here. I don't know if you have MCs. I wanted to also do R&B. I always want to infuse R&B. So I was also talking about 5 times that a singer took it to church, like put in that work, and you was like, God damn, like that. So that's what we're chopping it up about today. But before I get into all that, I want everybody to kind of talk a little bit about what they've got going on. God, like I said, I don't know if there's too many shows when your name doesn't come up if we're talking about MCing. I love seeing on the timeline when people are like, yo, I learned about I Am God from Apartment 5B or from Kill. I love that because it is not about me. I just love connecting dope people. I love people being able to find out new music through this platform. That's what I do it for. You know what I mean? So, God, tell them a little bit about what you got going on, what's out, where they can get at you all. I want to get that in first before we even dive into everything else.
Well, right now, riding off the latest release, which came out in, I believe, early May, Murder Castle, produced entirely by the homie, The Black Depths. If you want to support it, you know what I'm saying, purchase it. We got vinyl available. I think we sold out of CDs, but you can go to No Mediocre. That's NOMEDIOCRE.bandcamp.com, and you can grab that. It's also streaming on all DSPs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Follow me at GodMC, GAWDEMCEE. That's Twitter and IG. But we riding off the Murder Castle. We also got the Filthy compilation that just dropped too. The Dirt Up Here, a Filthy album. You know what I'm saying? It's the Filthy Records compilation. You can also get that at filthy.bandcamp.com. That's FILTHE, filthy.bandcamp.com. And if I'm not mistaken, it should be streaming everywhere as of right now as well.
All right, no doubt, no doubt. Trey, what about you? Let me talk about Trey for a second. This man has the marketing genius of being able to have Glory. And I feel like we're still talking about Glory like 3-4 years later. We're in an era where most people aren't talking about an album 3 or 4 weeks later. So the fact that Glory is still being talked about is amazing to me. So you gotta give me the secret to your salmon sauce on how you able to keep an album buzzing for 4 years. But Trey, talk a little bit about that and what do you have coming up? Because here's the great thing that I love about Trey and Amir. Niggas always ask me, when's Trey new album coming? You know what I mean? When's Dope Boy Soul coming? I'm like, nigga, I don't know. You know, ask Trey. Like, I don't know. It's great that y'all connect us, but I have no idea. So Trey, the people want to know what's coming up next with you.
Well, you know, we on the heels of Glory, you know what I'm saying? We put out, you know, actually at the end of last summer, you know, a summer banger that's actually still being played called Buttersoft. And then we got the new summer joint called Cacao, you know what I'm saying? That's, you know, we just holding people at bay for a second. And then while I'm doing that, you know, we stirring the pot. We stirring the pot. I'm sitting on, you know, a couple of joints that I think we just going, you know, I don't want to, going back to the marketing thing, I don't want to put out the, you know, I guess there's no rhythm or rhyme to what I'm doing, but just say, expect something to drop before the end of the year. And it's just going to drop. That's just what it's going to be. I ain't going to put out no big announcement coming November. It's just going to drop. And the people that know, they know it. And everybody else is just going to have to catch up. But that's a part of the method to the madness. But yeah.
All right. No doubt. It's funny you say that because I want to sit down, maybe a show, depending if we have time, if not another show, just to kind of talk about marketing strategies, you know, because everyone up here to a certain level is an independent MC, you know, and we all go at it from different, you know, realms. Like you have some people who are like, yo, joint is coming. You got other people who do the Kendrick and it just drops and you don't even, you know, I'm not Kendrick. I meant, my mind is bugging on me. Like D'Angelo, when he just popped up with Black Messiah, like you have those, you have the people who still do the rollout with the first single and all that. So I definitely want to chop it up about that. Amir, what's going on? We got the 21 grams. I'm still championing this joint any chance I can get. Produced by Pete Rock with Amir. But again, everybody's asking, what's good with Dope Boy Soul? What's up next with Amir?
Well, see, this right here, I got the joint on the wall just for motivation purposes, but that's for me. But as far as the album, man, we just going through the distribution part. Like I said, man, he got to find something that's fair. I mean, find a home for it that you know, that from a business acumen, I guess, standpoint, he want to make sure that, you know, you don't give somebody that, give a company something like that, you know, we don't feel it's going to get what it needs. So, but I think The music is done. I'm still recording though. It's not done until it's done, but it's primarily done. So Dope Boy Soul still the TBA. But I know we're nearing more of a date for it, you know. So I feel happy about that. All right. And then we're dropping a he texted me today. We're gonna put another tape out. You know, I don't know the name of it. I might name it Free for Profit or something. I don't know, something slick. Hopefully. But I have the records. It was more music, man. I just been working music, bro. Recording. You know, I record every day. So, and
all right. That's what it
is. To the
is.
script, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Vern, what's going on, good brother? We got the Idle Mind joint out. Tell them what else is going on with you, Serene too, everything else that's coming.
Yeah, man. For 1 second, I ain't never got a chance to chop it up with God in person. That Murder Castle was just ridiculous, G. I don't mind, man. That's what it is right now. We still pushing that. We still got a couple of things we want to do with that as far as the theme pieces and discuss some of the things we did on that. And yeah, I'm pretty much in the mixing phase of Serene too. And I'm not really sure when I'm dropping it, but I'm like, Trey, I'm gonna drop it sometime this year. And you know, we're gonna just keep pushing, man. Keep trying to climb these steps and get to where we're trying to get.
All right, no doubt. All right, well, I'm gonna set this off since you know what I mean. I already told you what one of my joints was. Quiet Storm, White Lines, whatever you want to call it by P. Again, I think it's a lost art for a lot of MCs on how you set rhymes off. You know what I mean? Like that first bar. And it's like, I put my lifetime in between the paper's lines. I'm the Quiet Storm nigga who fight crime. P, yeah, you heard of them, but I ain't concerned with them. Nigga, I'll pop more guns than you holding them. Like, yo, make my rocks come out and scold your men. A low 10 in broad daylight, get right, fuck your life. Hop on my 98 dirt bike. You try to stop mines from growing, I'll make your blood stop flowing. Like, god damn. Like, this is how you coming? Like, you feel some kind of way, my nigga? Like, yo, the second verse, yo, the P-Rod cables, 40-inch cables, drinking white labels, my chain hang down on my dick, my piece gang, bang, glass tables, diamonds and guns before the fame Duke, a nigga like me, hold text. Are you the same too? Yo, just, I mean, and then it go 1, 2, 3 to the 4th. That nigga P double got that shit for y'all. Like, again, in an era where like nobody even does third verses anymore. I mean, a couple of years ago, I had that out on the timeline, like the third verse challenge. Like, yo, like, you know, I get it with streaming these quick songs, but there's something beautiful about that third verse, man. Like I said, if you take the third verse away from Nas, I Gave You Power, we don't know what happened with the gun. You take the third verse away from Song Cry, we don't know what happened with Jay. Did you stay with the girl? Like, to me, in my age, I'm 48, that third verse was if you're writing a paper for school and it's like, in conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the third verse is for me. It's in conclusion. You know what I mean? And again, this is no knock on anybody who doesn't do third verses. It's just, but this song for me, P just put in work on all three verses. I mean, these are the times that, and this is why I love having you all as friends, because these are the times I want to be like, I would love to ask P, like, yo, what the fuck? Like, was you mad? You know what I mean? Was Jay in the back of your head from that Summer Jam shit? Like, did something happen in the hood? Like, what put you in the mindset to write this? Like, bro, like, what? You know what I mean? And then niggas was even on the time like, yeah, but his verse on the remix wasn't that dope. I said, yo, I don't even know. Maybe the nigga felt some kind of way. You know what I mean? Maybe he felt some kind of way like, nigga, this was supposed to be my shit. Now the label want to come in and make it mob shit, and I'm going to just coast this one in. Because his verse was dope on the remix, but it wasn't this. It wasn't this. You know what I mean? So that's my first joint for that. God, what do you have up for your first joint that's a rap clinic, and why are you calling it a rap clinic? Was it one of those situations where you was like, yo, why do I rhyme, or let me step up my game, or if I was teaching a class, like why did you pick one of these joints to be the rap clinic for you?
All right, so my first one is also another joint by the homie P Double, Bandana P, rest in peace, and it's Keep It Thorough. You know what I'm saying? Now this joint right here, it wasn't one of them situations to where it's like, damn, I'll never be able to top that. Not trying to say I was even thinking about trying to top that. It's just the fact that, bro, P was so different. Like, P didn't have the traditional MC flow, setup, punchline. You know what I'm saying? Like, his shit was so unorthodox and sometimes almost sound like it was about to be off beat. but he came back and he tied that shit up to the point to where it fit perfectly. And you quote lines from Quiet Storm, I feel the same way. Like, besides Inspector Deck, like, P was one of them kickoff masters. You know what I'm saying? You put that nigga on the song, like his opening lines, like, I break bread, ribs, $100 bills, bill on Ducatis and other 4 wheels. You know what I'm saying? It's like, write a book full of medicine to generate meals, tour the album only for more sales. Like, the nigga said, I throw a TV at you, crazy. Like,
yo, bro, that was the craziest.
I throw a TV at you, man. Damn, like, the nigga P was just so, his flow was so masterful. And it
made that shit sound good. Cause if I said, nigga, I'll throw a TV at you, niggas be like, yo, you heard this nigga kill? Niggas say, go throw a TV at you. Like,
the nigga was just so masterful with his craft. His pen was just so crazy for his flow to be that different and that unique. You know what I'm saying? So I'm also riding with, you know what I'm saying, the never forgotten legend. You know what I'm saying? The late great Bandana P. You know what I'm saying? Keep it thorough. Like, he killed that shit all the way through from bar 1 to bar wherever he stopped at. You know what I'm saying? That's my shit.
All right, no doubt, no doubt. Vern, what you got for your first joint, and why did you pick it? Why was this a rap clinic for you?
Well, my first joint is New York State of Mind, Nas. Never been to New York, and I saw the shit when he was rapping it. I saw it the hallways, I seen the thing. I was there. I was completely there. It was so fucking vivid at a time where, like, we only was really getting that kind of shit from Rakim on a high level, but it was more gritty than I think anything I ever heard Ross spit. The shit was just like I said, I ain't never been back east, and I was there. I was in Queensbridge, and I never forget it because it was a lot of buzz about Nas, you know, after the live and the for the barbecue shit and all that, right? And I'm like, damn, if this is how you stand it off, like, I almost knew the shit was a classic album before I finished it. Based off that. Then to follow it up with, like, Life's a Bitch, come on, man, that shit was crazy. But it's definitely New York State of Mind for me, Illmatic, Nas.
You know, it's funny you said that, Vern, because one of the pieces that me and Ev are really touching on with Prophet is for academia and the powers that be to look at MCs the same way they look at authors. You know what I mean? Like, the exact same way. So the respect you would have for, I love horror and stuff like that. So a Dean Koontz or a Stephen King, or, you know what I mean? Like, for you all to be in that, looked at it the same regard, like, not just, oh, that's a rapper, like, nah, like, that's an author. You know what I mean? Like, because it's a whole nother level. And one of the things that I was saying, and it ties in exactly what you said, because I've been jotting all these things down about MCs, and my goal is to prove why, if I was standing in front of somebody who could make that call, that could say, okay, you know, Gabble hits the joint, like, yo, MCs are now looked at as authors. How would I make that case for you all? My first thing that I wrote down, I try to come up with something once a week. You all are a kid from the hood's travel tour guide. Now, what do I mean by that? Exactly what Vern just said. I've never been out east, but I was in Queensbridge. You know what I mean? I'll never forget when I saw Straight Outta Compton. I was like, yo, what's Compton? I've never even heard of that shit before. But you listen to it and you're there. I've never been to Chicago, but why do I know about Cabrini Green? Common. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never forget, I brought my homegirl to Philly with me once, and we was on Snyder Ave, and she just started rapping Proceed. She was like, from 7th and Snyder Ave, got the flavor you need, now I must proceed. She's like, nigga, let's go to 7th and Snyder Ave. Like, you all have made housing projects, fucking, what are those things called that you can't tear down? Like, monuments. Like, nigga, you can tear down Queensbridge if you wanted to. Like, it would be an uproar. You know what I mean? Like, you literally have made places that should not be tourist attractions. I have seen people on IG standing in front of Queensbridge houses like this, next to the sign. So it's like, okay, Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, Queensbridge Projects. You know what I mean? Like, when I went to LA with Vern, I was like, Ev, take me to Crenshaw. I want to see Nips. I want to see Nips Hood. Like, so it's like, take me to, you know, Santa Monica Pier, say I want to go see Hollywood, and I want to go see where Nip from. Like, you all have transported kids and grown people who have never been to these places, but they feel like they're there. And I mean, I don't think most people think about that. That's just one of the reasons. Just one of the many reasons why MCs and you all should be respected on the same level as an author, because the same way you're reading a book and you're able, me, when I read books, I see all that shit visually. So I'm seeing, you know, the haunted house, I'm seeing the creaks in the floor. Y'all are doing the exact same thing. But I feel like niggas just like, they just rappers. They just rapping. You know, they ain't doing no shit. Y'all don't say that about an author. Well, that nigga just write. Nigga, that nigga went to motherfucking college to learn to write. Like, it's never, y'all don't downplay that. Y'all never just be like, oh, that was a good movie, you know. It's like, oh my God, Nope is the greatest movie ever. It's like, yo, and I just feel like you all don't get that same respect. And that's one of the reasons we're doing Profit, so that the powers that be and people who are even outside of hip hop understand how important you guys are. So Vern, I love what you just said. I've never been out east, but listening to New York State of Mind, I was there. I mean,
after listening to Murder Castles, I found the documentary. It's a whole joint on the dude that inherited the money and had the fucked up. I watched the whole shit after listening to Brother's Joint. So I mean, it's the God honest truth. You know what I mean? Like, the shit takes you there. I watched the Supreme Team and shit. I'm over there feeling some kind of way about niggas I don't even know. She don't got nothing to do with me. You know?
Right. You know, but again, that's the wild part, because I watched the Supreme Team and like, yo, what the fuck you know about Supreme Team in Queens? I was like, yo, with Nas said, niggas and Morgan, my Queens niggas would talk about them. The first time I heard Alpo was in fucking Nas's Memory Lane, when he was like, Uptown was Alpo. Heard he was Kingpin. Like,
I'm comparing what I know from Ghetto Quran to what I'm watching on Netflix, because all I knew was the 50 shit, you know. So that's how we travel through the music.
Right. Definitely. JR, break this hip hop monotony. Give me a time that a singer took you to church and you was blown away. You was like, okay, they putting in work.
Well, when it comes to, you know, R&B, it's Bridges that does it. It's the bridge. So if you
know, I want to do a show with you about the dopest bridges.
Okay. Yeah,
I do, because the bridges slept on. People love the chorus, now love the. But the bridges,
what's crazy? Sean from Boys II Men said he was in the studio with somebody like a top producer, and he said he was writing the bridge, and they was like, "You do bridges?" And he was like, "Huh? You don't write bridges?" And he was like, "Nah." So that's crazy to me, because when a song, especially with a singer, that tells you who can sing and who can't, because it's how you coming out of the bridge, how you singing into the bridge, like. That's what it is. So,
bro, the bridge, man, Faith Evans bridge on Soon As I Get Home. Come on, bro.
The whole album is full of bridges, yo. Like, that's why I was like, yo, this is unfair.
We're not gonna do that. That's another show. We're gonna keep it.
But all right, so I'm gonna start with a group. I love when Milestone did "I Care About You." And when you had Kavon and Case JoJo at the bridge, and they just went off, and Kavon was like, "I'm going to eat this, and I'm gonna go for blood." And JoJo kind of had to back off a little bit, because Kavon was like, "Yo, this is mine. I'm taking it." Like, and then when they did it live on Oprah, it was like, "Yo, step back, Casey." Kavon just took it to church and had the crowd going crazy and all that. And what about this? You know how when they do like the end of the show and they get all these singers together, and sometimes it's bad, and you be like, everybody trying to out-sing each other, they trying to outblow each other, and it just don't mesh together. So I've always had a problem when you got all these singers together. How is this gonna work? And Babyface got these singers right, and they did a great song, and they killed it. So Milestone, I Care About You.
Now here's the funny part. I remember it's 97 and that song's on the radio, and we all like, yo, Milestone, where's that name coming from or whatever? And then you see the movie, and then it's like, oh shit, that's a dope marketing piece that I don't think I've ever seen that before.
No, I didn't.
For a soundtrack, there's a group that we just thought was a group, and then you see it in the movie, and it's all about Miles and everything. Like, yeah, but you're right. That is an incredible bridge. That's from the Soul Food soundtrack. Everybody out there who's watching, it was After 7 and Casey and JoJo. They had a group, Milestone. If you've seen Soul Food, as prayerfully you should, you know what we're talking about. Amir, the Vernonville. You up there with a lot of heavyweights. CL, Hem, Hoover. You around a lot of heavyweight MCs, bro. What is one of your rap clinics, man?
To be honest, bro, the first one I would say was off of Illmatic when AZ verse on Life's a Bitch.
Excellent choice.
And I'm not gonna front, and that was actually one of the first people, maybe in 2000, maybe like 8-9 years ago, took me on tour with him. So I gotta pay homage. But even before I even met him, that Life's a Bitch verse, niggas know what that shit was really. That shit was crazy.
Excellent choice.
But tell me this, Amir. So, but what category does that? When you heard that, what was it? Was that an oh shit moment? Was that a step my pen game up moment? Was that a like what the fuck moment?
Nah, I was a kid, so I was like, who is? My shit was more like, who the fuck is this nigga? That was like that's where I was at with it. I wasn't even rapping. I didn't even know what was. I wasn't rapping at that point. I was just his diction and his commanding of the English language in such a rhythmic, it was rhythmic and it was super syncopated, but it wasn't forced. It was like harmonious chaos, right?
Harmonious chaos, I hear that.
Yeah, right. So, you know, visualizing the realism, and they just know the verse. Life and actuality, fuck with the baddest of person. Like it was swinging. They had a swing, but it was like trying to check a left-handed basketball player, bro. And you know he about to cook you. That's what it felt like.
And there's nothing you could do about it.
And nothing you could do at all. Word. So when I heard that verse, that wasn't the verse that made me fall in love with hip hop. But as far as a verse that was super stellar, bulletproof from top to bottom, and he had no credentials. It wasn't like, oh, it was a nigga I never heard of. He didn't get no famous features on that album.
And just to add on real quick, I don't know how true this is, if he did it or not. Well, bro, that shit sound like that's one take. Like that shit just sound flawless.
No, well, I can say this. I can say this to you from having a relationship with him. When I was in the studio, he sat me down, and I was at Eddie F's crib, and he sat me down, and I was a teenager, so he was like, yo. I said, yo, you gonna write your verse? This nigga looked at me. This nigga looked at me, so don't worry about my verse, God. He said, I write on one stream of consciousness. I don't need to do that shit. You need to get your bars together. So to answer your question, he told me he rhymes on one stream of consciousness. I don't know what the fuck that shit is. It sounds like some fly shit. Listen, it sounds like some fly street shit. Yeah. And I'm into that. So look me dead in my face. Yo, God, don't worry about my shit. Get your verse together. I write on one stream of consciousness. And then I asked him
say shit to that.
Now he was already AZ at this point. So I said, yo, what the fuck? And you know, I'm like, little Russ, what the fuck you mean by that? He said, yo, when my pen hit the paper, I don't pick it up till the verse is finished. I said, man, come on with this superhero shit. Come on.
Superhero shit.
He was trying to fuck with me though. I saw what was happening there. It was me, him, Eddie, and it was me, AZ, Eddie F, and Dio was in that joint. And mind you, like they pulling you out of like the young boy out of, and you in there, and I'm sitting there like I'm terrified because I'm like, these is titans. But I ended up doing
one stream of consciousness.
One stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
Yo, if you tweet that to that nigga, if somebody tweet that to that nigga, said you rhyme on one stream of consciousness, he gonna start dying laughing. I guarantee it. He remember that shit he told me. That shit was crazy. But
here's the wild thing. Here's the wild thing about Life's a Bitch for me, and I know I'm the minority in this. I love the song now. When the song first came out, I didn't like it because I'm like, yo, these niggas rhyming over Yearning for Your Love by the Gap Band. Now, of course, I love Daisy's verse. Don't get that twisted. I just didn't love the song because I'm like, yo, how we doing this, y'all? How we just rhyming over Yearning for Your Love? You know, now I love the song. Like, seriously, that ass, like, for years, I don't know if I heard Nas's verse in 94 to Life's a Bitch. Like, that's how much I was not fucking with just rhyming over. Because here's the thing, y'all. That was Trackmaster shit. And niggas wasn't going for that shit. That's why now I don't want to get on all my Trackmasters you know, shit.
Oh, I was in here with
Don't do it. Listen.
Here we go.
But to add fuel to the fire. From my understanding, Life's a Bitch was a record I think that I heard that AZ wrote for himself. Chorus and a verse. And then him and Nas is homies. And then when he spit it, he's like, yo, I don't know how true it is, but this is what I heard.
Right. And Trey, just for the record, this was not no Trackmasters hate from me. I feel like the hip hop community hates on the Trackmasters. You know what I mean?
No. I wasn't even talking about the Here We Go with the Trackmasters. I was talking about Here We Go with the whole loop shit. And
no, not just the loop shit, not the loop. Because Trey, you was there. You know that's the truth, bro. If the Trackmasters, if it said produced by the Trackmasters, niggas hated it.
Oh yeah. On that part, yes. Because but it wasn't because it was the loops. It was how they made them too clean and shiny. You know what I'm saying? And then at least with Life's a Bitch, they put the filter on the joint and it made it sound a little money. They didn't put all that extra, fucking triangles and all that other shit in there. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm saying is I was 2 years old when I found out that they did Life's a Bitch. That's all I'm saying.
No. The Trackmasters didn't do Life's a Bitch. No. LES did.
Okay.
LES did.
Okay.
But I'm just saying that
from the loop perspective.
Right. But at that time in 1994 or 95, if you was rhyming over a loop, I'll say this: I love Sugar Hill. I guarantee you, if that shit said produced by the Trackmasters, niggas wouldn't have been fucking with Sugar Hill. That's how much hate the Trackmasters got. If LES
even then,
because they did, if they did get beef or people didn't like it, it was because it was too clean. They sheened it up.
I don't agree, man. I think it's just because it wasn't. That was like the anti-shit. That was the anti-shit. Then it's like, yo, think about Illmatic. The average nigga still to this day don't know what New York State of Mind sample is. Fucking Halftime, Memory Lane, all that shit was Secret Squirrel shit except Life's a Bitch. Everybody knew fucking Yearning for Your Love.
And they knew it ain't hard to tell. That's human.
I mean, true. Yeah. They did.
That shit was hard.
They did. But okay. I see your point.
I digress.
I see. I see your point. Yeah, but I do see what you mean because Large did make that shit hard. He had the drums under it.
It's because Trackmasters, what they would do, they put the sheen on that shit. And niggas didn't like the sheen.
I like the sheen. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That shit. I was.
See, I was about to say he's gonna break out the brush. I said you. I already knew what was coming. I
fuck with them.
Listen, I'm saying, I like Trackmasters too. I'm just saying that people had a qualm about it because if you go to the second album,
that's when the problem
had a lot of problems with the second album. Then I think more people love it now, but back then it sounded too shiny.
And see, that's the part that I disagree with because when I got the advanced copy of it was written.
Like Sweet Dreams?
I wasn't mad at it. Here's the crazy part about it, Trey. Here's the crazy part. I was in my mom's basement in Philly writing down who I thought did it. Watch them niggas. I was like, yo, Large Professor may have done this. Shootouts? Oh, I knew RZA. I was like, oh, this RZA all over it. But I guarantee you, I know people to this day, hip hop heads who be like, yo, it was written was trash. Dead ass. Trash.
I know. And I don't know why.
I will bet you every pair of sneakers I own that if it was written, said produced by Primo, Pete Rock, Q-Tip, Havoc, and fucking Dr. Dre, that shit's a 5 mic classic. Dead ass. That's how much the Trackmasters name on your album was almost like fucking the neighborhood hub. Like, damn, my God, damn, nigga, like, yo, you done to us. Like, that's how bad.
But yo, that's to you. Me and my niggas was in it. We fuck with that shit.
No, but here's the crazy part, bro. But here's the crazy part. To me, there was nothing on It Was Written that was on some clubby type shit.
If I rule the world.
I mean, if I rule the world, that was it. A lot of nigga rap. Like that wasn't no like to me when you're saying like that jiggy shit, that's more like that bad boy shit. But It Was Written to me was the message. what's the joint about the gun? I gave you power. Watch them niggas. Nas is coming.
But I'm gonna keep it a buck. It was written sell more than Illmatic.
Yeah.
Exactly. So take it back to the nigga.
I'm not fucking with you all day. I'm not fucking with this nigga today.
Listen,
we gotta remember why it's sold. It's sold because that first single with Lauren, who was the biggest person on the planet,
right.
And that was MTV, and at that time, Lauryn Hill was like getting Sade on the album. Like it was gold.
But Kill, y'all keeping it too real in here tonight, man.
Big real.
You know what I mean? Listen, y'all keeping it too real, man. Listen, when that shit went shiny, guess what it did, bro? It raised the stock. It's like having crypto. That shit made all of the coins in hip hop go up.
Now that's true.
It is.
Yeah, but the thing that I'm saying,
let's take it back.
All I'm saying to this day is that I think the hip hop backpackers hate that album because it says produced by the Trackmasters. That's just all I'm saying. I
think it's generational too, bro. I think it's generational, man. Because
that's true, God. Yeah,
I'm an '86 baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
I grew up on that type of rap. When I was getting into rap, Bad Boy was running shit. Biggie was already the Alfred Hitchcock of rap. He was already suited up, glossy, rapping about Versace. So I'm 36. That's my era. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's a great point. That's a great point.
What was we out there
But the thing is, I'm talking about like niggas who are 40. I'm talking about niggas who are 48 and 49 and 50. Those were the people who hated that album.
Rakim, BDP, Cool G Rap, Big Daddy, y'all coming out the purity of the shit.
And to piggyback off of what you're saying, God, that's why I'm talking about. It ain't necessarily that it's Trackmasters, but they associate Trackmasters with cleaner production. Because when Trackmasters and the Hitmen and all of them started to flourish, the production, the sound sonically became clean. Not that it wasn't the loop. It wasn't. It was just a cleaner sound, and you stopped using the filters. You stopped using all that shit. You started losing live percussion, and the shit started sounding crystal clear, and that was the problem.
And see again, and here's the thing, Trey. And again, I'm with you to a certain point. But and again, this is always just about the people we're around. I always tell folk that. Like, you know, I could be like, yo, everybody in Philly love that shit. I'm from Uptown. I don't know what the fuck North Philly niggas love. You know what I mean? All I know is the people I'm around. The people I was around at Morgan, if we could listen to your album and name the loop, we ain't like that shit. Now, maybe we were the super duper, you know, snobs, the producers who were snobbish, but the average person on this panel right now can't name me every song off Midnight Marauders. That was almost how we would rank albums. Do we know the loop? Do we know what Master IC is? Do we know what that is? So, and again, that was just my circle. That was just my circle of people who were just super bougie, and it would be like, oh, all they did was loop up such. And again, that could be because we're producers. That could be because of that. You know what I mean? The same way an MC. I know a lot of MCs who didn't fuck with Mace like that. You know what I mean? Not Murder Mace, but Mace. Because they was like, his rhymes are too Cat in the Hat-ish for me. You know what I mean? Whereas other niggas is like, I know people who swear by Mace. Like MCs who...
You're bugging. You bugging out, man.
No, I'm not saying me. I'm saying, again, Amir, keep it a buck. There are people who don't fuck with me that are my age.
Yeah. They don't fuck with who?
Yo, I'm gonna tell you something. Remember that Mace? Where Mace was on them Clue tapes? He had them niggas under.
But again, not Murder Mace. I said that. Not Murder Mace. Not mixtape Mace.
He's talking about Feel So Good.
I'm talking about Feel Good Mace.
One more you want.
You talking about? Listen, I'm gonna say something, Kill. Without that happening, we wouldn't have this podcast because it wouldn't be as big. Trey Lee would have never gave us a party. But here's the thing. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I'm just showing you that how maybe as an MC, I'm sure y'all as MCs have heard an MC who's Cat in the Hat to y'all, and it's like, why is niggas feeling this? Because my bars are so much dope.
as a group of producers.
Totally understand. I can like in that shit.
So that's why I'm just saying, as a producer who's taking the time to go digging, and I'm going through 50 million different crates and chopping up samples and chopping up drums, that when I just hear somebody, you do fucking Life's a Bitch, I'm like, yo. And again, like Trey said, to that point, I was running with producers. Trust me, if y'all motherfuckers think Primo and Pete and Large Pro and Juju and all them niggas was listening to loops, trust me, they was talking shit too. Trust me, they was.
But again, to counter that, like I said, on that same album, he used Human Nature, was a more popular record, way more popular record, and cats that produced loved the joint. And you knew exactly where it came from. You knew exactly who the artist.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. It boils down really to your palette. It boils down to your circle, and then it boils down to the actual loop that you use. If you catch a hot one that everybody loves, and it's just a loop and just undeniable, then it's just gonna be what it is. It's just.
But Trey, peep this, Trey. But peep this. The average listener. This is who we're talking about, because like Amir said, Apartment 5B wouldn't be here. Trey wouldn't have done his party time. It wasn't because of boom bap niggas wearing backpacks. It was for the average listener who's watching MTV. The average listener ear isn't tuned in to, is that super duper clean? Was that recorded at Bad Boy Studios or D&D? All they're doing is listening to the radio. That's all they're doing. So when Nas came out with If I Rule the World, rapping over Friends, Friends by Houdini. Then you get Lauryn Hill, who's the biggest fucking star on the planet Earth, hip hop and R&B, singing If I Ruled the World. That's just perfect magic. That was perfect magic. But again, most boom bap niggas did not like that song because it was like, how this nigga coming off of Illmatic? That's all I hear about people who don't like It Was Written was, how do you come off of Illmatic and then hit us with this? It's like I'll give you another great example. When I heard that Can I Get a What with Jay-Z and Ja Rule coming off of Jay's second album, I'm expecting like, yo, who you with? Streets is watching, where I'm from. And I come home and I pop that in at the radio station. I hear that. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, that's not what we was expecting from Nas coming off of Illmatic. That's all I'm saying. We were not expecting that. I don't know one human being who could say, oh yeah, I heard If I Ruled the World. And I said, oh, I knew that's where Nas was going. No, nobody was.
Niggas like money. You know, I said niggas like money for one, and a lot of that was record company shit. You know, you had to have a radio record, and I feel like those records were still culture. You know what I mean? Like niggas that sell their soul on them records, and they made them work, and they were good records. But I understand, like, I'm not the kind of fan that want more of the same. I want niggas to try shit and do different shit because it's art. Like, I don't want to give me the same album 5 fucking times. You have a set of heads that they want the same shit. Give me the same shit. Give me Tana Talk 3 20 fucking times. I want the same shit. That's not me. I don't go. I want sequels and different shit.
Now hold on. Now pause on that, because here's the thing, and we could do another show because there's a whole nother panel. Because we talked about, as fans, we be like, yo, we want the MCs to grow. But then when they try some new shit, the fans will be the main ones talking about, fuck that shit, is whack.
Listen,
I know it's discretionary, but it's still got to be cool. You can try the new shit.
Thank you, Trey.
No, but what I'm saying,
and expect motherfuckers that said they wanted some new shit to love it. It's still got to be hot.
Right, but here's the thing. Like when niggas be like, yo, I want Push to rap about more shit. I don't. No, I don't. I don't want Push to rap about how he takes his daughter to school. I don't want to know about how he lives with Bethesda now. I have no urge.
An exception.
Right. Well, not much. I mean, I don't want to hear about Conway taking his son to school. I want to hear a bunch of doots.
But see, there's no rhyme. Well, Conway's a different, because there's no rhyme or reason for him. I know what Push is, and he does it probably better than anybody else I've ever heard in my life. So he's the exception to, please give me more of that. And I don't even like that, the content that he's talking about. I don't personally like that shit. I would aspire. But I want to hear that motherfucker because he's the best at it.
Here's the crazy thing. How about this? Keeping it above. First question. Easy. Yes or no? When you heard Q-Tip was going solo and you heard Vibrant Thing, is that what anybody was expecting? Yes or
I
no?
did. Yeah.
I wasn't big on
Y'all
Travis.
expect
I
a
wasn't
vibrant
big on
thing?
Travis at
Yeah.
first. I wasn't big on
Yes,
Travis.
I'm gonna
Oh,
tell you.
wow.
I'm gonna tell you why. 'Cause if you was in New York, if you live here, and
That's
you
what
saw
I'm
where
Yeah.
you saw where like that subculture, that Soho crowd was doing anyway.
Yeah.
He was catering to what was coming, not what was there,
Plus,
and it worked for him.
Plus,
Well, so I think that's the question mark. Did it work for him? Because I don't know too many people who fucking like Amplified. I've never heard any human being cap for Amplified a day in my life. I've never seen it on the timeline. Not about the money. I've never seen it on the timeline. I've never seen anybody talk about Breathe and Stop. I've never heard nobody say, "Hey, DJ, play Vibrant Thing." I've heard people say play fucking Tribe shit, but I haven't heard nobody cap for Amplified.
When you say expect, all I expect is a certain level of skill from the MC, right? I don't know what they're about to present. I just expect them to be a certain level of dope, right?
And you think Vibrant Thing was tip?
That's all it. I mean, I liked it for what it was. I like he said, it was you saw that he was going somewhere else and trying something. I don't think he failed us. Like, it wasn't whack, and I liked it for what it was. I expected coming off a Tribe, but it was a pleasant surprise. Like, for perfect example, the fucking Love Below. We all thought Andre 3000 was about to rap for us. He didn't, but I wasn't mad. I liked what I got. I was still good with it. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I do. Yeah, I think it's just a palatable thing. When I heard, when Vibrant Thing came to the radio station, me, my whole crew that did the station, we put that shit on and we was like, yo, this shit whack. We ain't playing that shit. And kept it moving. Because my radio station was Stretch and Bobbito. Do y'all think Stretch and Bobbito or Future Flavors would have been playing Vibrant Thing? No. Who was supporting Tribe Called Quest all those years? Stretch and Bobbito, the underground shows.
But didn't the Love Movement have like Find My Way and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, but Find My Way and Vibrant Thing to me are two different things.
But don't you think that was where it was going next?
He was in a goddamn fur coat with his fucking shirt off. No, it ain't the same
you
thing.
Talking about?
Hey, no, what? Hold on.
Hold on, real quick. I think what, and you're not Surface Kill at all. You're way underneath, right? You know, you live and breathe this shit. But I think what the surface listener didn't pick up on with him, with Tip in particular, even when they first started, Tip was he even with his swings, his pockets, he's a music dude. I knew that shit from the time he was not backpack. See, that's the thing that people got fooled by. He was never backpack. That nigga was in the clubs. That nigga was swinging. That nigga, he dances. He does all that shit.
But that didn't come across in the music.
Right. But what I'm saying is, it didn't come out initially. But you can, if you paid attention, especially from and I can only talk from an MC perspective. I know when a nigga gets on the mic and how he swings inside pockets and shit like that, whether the nigga could dance or not. Like I pick up on that kind of shit. On melodies, on cadences, harmonies, voice texture, like what you're able to do and what you're not able to do. So in his particular case, when he came out with Vibrant Thing, I was like, oh, this is really what he really, this nigga was disco. This nigga was disco. This nigga was, you know what I mean? He was down in the low end. You know what I'm saying? Like he was that shit. Before this Tribe shit. You know what I'm saying? This nigga was in the Latin Quarter.
No. I get it. But I'm just saying that. And again, it's just, all I can speak about is me and my crew. Nobody that I knew was feeling.
They seized the moment with the Jungle Brothers and all that other shit and jumped into that mix. But before he got into that native tongue, he was always swing.
Right, and that's cool, but it never came across in the music.
Right.
Hey, bro, the mid to late 90s had niggas out here traumatized, bro. Like,
I'm dead. Niggas was like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Stage, yeah.
Yo, when Breathe and Stop came out, I remember people being like, and not just the source. I remember people writing in the industry like, yo, this nigga got light skinned naked chicks in the video now. What the fuck is up with Tip?
Not surprised.
Okay, all right. I don't mean to belabor us. I don't even know where the fuck we left off. I think we left off with Life's a Bitch with a Man. Trey. Rel, y'all don't even know if you even know what the fuck you just walked in on. Rel, This is what happens when you get 5 MCs up here at the same time. Trey, what's one of your cliques? What's one of your cliques, man?
All right, so I'm gonna take it back, man.
We had 48 minutes and got one clique.
I'm gonna take it back to when I was a youngin'. I was a senior in high school, and I went to the Spectrum, and I believe the lineup was LL, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, and Eric B and Rakim. And this was after Paid in Full dropped. This was nearing the summer. I was about to graduate from high school, and this guy gets up there and he does a song that nobody's heard before. 17,000 motherfuckers. And this nigga says, I'm rated R. This is a warning. You better void. Poets and paranoid. DJs destroyed. As I came back to attack others in spite. Strike like lightning. It's quite frightening. But don't be afraid in the dark in a park. Not a scream, or a cry, or a bark, more like a spark. The motherfuckers were just sitting there. And I never been to a spot where it was 17,000 niggas that didn't know the record, didn't boo, didn't do nothing. He just had niggas in the train. Like, what the fuck is happening? And I'm talking about Lyrics of Fury. Lyrics of Fury, again, I've never, and to this day, no MC has never ever captivated a moment like that with that many motherfuckers from a record that they've never heard. They couldn't sing along with. It didn't have a hook, you know what I'm saying? And everybody was sitting there and looking at each other like, what the fuck is happening? So I had to say to myself, I have got to do better. I'm 17 now. I got to do better. This shit right here, come on, man. Lyrics of Fury, man. I can go on like the whole just look it up.
It's a clinic. It's a clinic. It's a clinic.
Google the shit, please, man.
It's a clinic.
Life and death, just like an extra sketch, shake till clear, make it disappear. Come on, man. This nigga, man, forget it.
Yeah. Yo, did he do it a cappella or he did it with the?
No, he did it with the record.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. Nobody ever heard this shit. Niggas first, when it first came on, was like, oh, what is he doing? And then he kept rhyming. And at the end of this shit, I'm looking next to the nigga. I ain't even know the nigga next to me. I'm like, yo, what the fuck was that? And he's like, I don't know. And everybody's eyes just like this. And that was it.
Yeah, Lyrics of Fury is definitely a clinic. Definitely a clinic. Bro, what you got up, good brother, for your first rap clinic?
I got a Prodigy, Quiet Storm, the original, not the joint with Kim. Somebody said it already.
Yeah. That's what started this whole shit, was the argument that I was beefing with niggas on Twitter about Kim having the better version. But go into why you think, Pete. Go into your piece with that.
I think Pete's verses like just encapsulate him. Like that was like the best. Like if you had to describe Prodigy to somebody, like they would listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, even how, you know, we always talk about how he started off the first verse. You know what I'm saying? I put my lifetime in between the paper's lines. But I think that second verse is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he said, I spent so many nights sniffing coke, getting right, wasting my life. Now I'm trying to make things right. You know what I'm saying? He just thought, like, that version is so much better than the Lil' Kim version to me. Like, I don't get it. Like, he put on a clinic over that beat, bro. Like,
I said that's where this show came from, because that's what I said. I said he put on a clinic. Yeah. Like, how can y'all niggas talk about this? I said Lil' Kim is more known for that dumbass dance she do now than her verse.
Yeah, I understand why they did it, but
I mean, it's for the radio. That's for the
radio. But that original version, I mean, I heard it unmixed without some of the stuff added to it on a mixtape, and those verses, man, he just went crazy. Like I feel like that shit is almost perfect, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It ain't almost. That shit is perfect.
Yeah,
that shit
he just
is a masterpiece. That shit is some shit I wish you could hang up in your crib somewhere, like a painting or something. Like it's like that. You know what I mean? All right. The next joint I got up, I'm in my man School's basement. It's like 80, 89. We listen to G-Rap's Road to the Riches. We listening to that album. And then You know, Road to the Riches, it's a demo. Third song comes on. And I'm just like, yo, when the fuck is this nigga gonna stop rapping? Men at Work.
Yep.
This nigga did, the first verse is 68 bars. This is 1989, nigga. Niggas was not doing no 68 bar verses. Like, we literally in the basement like, oh, is this nigga ever gonna stop rapping? Like, we're at 89, I'm 15. I'm like, yo, is this nigga really ever gonna... I've never heard somebody just go off for this long. You know what I have? And I'll get to that person later. But I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. First verse, 68 bars. Second verse, 28 bars. Third verse, 20 bars. Now, for people watching who may not rhyme, the average verse is 16 bars. That's why you'll hear people say, give me a hot 16 or give me a 16. You always hear people talk about 16s because that's the average verse. You know what I mean? It's 16 bars. G-Rap did 68 in 1989. Like, that's amazing. And it wasn't finished. That could have been the whole song right there, but then came back for a second and a third verse. So if y'all have never heard Men at Work, please, please, please put on Men at Work. I guarantee you, man, it is a rap clinic. They used to say this in wrestling. He's a technician. That's like a G-Rap was a technician on that song. Like, and it's flawless too, man. It's flawless. And then it's like, Trey, what would you say the BPM for Men at Work is? Maybe like 112, 115, something. It's definitely 100 plus.
I mean, that's one of mine, so you might skip me because I'm on the heels of that. That's the second. Lyrics of Fury and that shit is like, those are the shits is like, what the fuck, I need to do better. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember where you was at when you heard Men at Work?
Yeah, I was a fucking freshman in college. I was at Howard. I was in the dorm. And my man put that shit on. Deadly Rhymes, here's the solution. Smoke so bad, I'ma cause a pollution. Come on, man. Chop it to an improper fraction. Ill insanity. Kill like Amityville horror. As I wipe out humanity, nigga. As I wipe out humanity? Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. How you gonna wipe out humanity, nigga? What? Nigga, you hear that kind of shit, you like, man.
Yeah, hold on. First of all, if a nigga say he gonna wipe out humanity, then you make friends with that nigga, B.
That nigga said, I'm not gonna wipe out your crew. I'm not gonna wipe you out. Motherfucker, I'm gonna wipe out humanity, nigga.
Yeah, that nigga has mental health. He had mental health issues.
Yeah. I knew the brush was coming out. I knew it was coming. Yeah, bro. I mean, and again, for people watching, yo, in 1989, you gotta understand, we still getting used to Kane and Rakim, and we not at no place of 68 bars like that, man. Like, I honestly thought like this nigga was never gonna end. If you used to just getting 16 bars and you get 68, we were really sitting there like, God damn, is this nigga ever gonna stop rapping? We don't want him to. But it's just like,
and every bar, how they say now, every bar, nigga, every bar.
Yeah.
Every bar. Kids, every bar. And he just named 96 bars. Every bar.
Yeah.
Not one skippable bar, man.
Crazy. God, what you got up next, good brother?
All right, for the second one, I got RZA verse off Duck Season. That nigga went somewhere else off that shit. Wu-Tang Forever. That nigga said Steve Rifkin must have been sniffing to catch something so dope and left Monica Lynch pussy drip. And that nigga RZA was on some shit, bro. I don't know if he was smoking one of them sticks, that shit they was smoking in motherfucking in Park Hill or whatever. Them dirty ass blunts, but that nigga was smoking some shit. Like, he was on some shit. Like, the way he kicked the shit off with the little jabs at 50 for the how to rob shit. You want a pound crab? Nah, let his hand swing, all a punch a hole in his palm with these pointy ass rings. Like, yeah. And he had that speech impediment or whatever the fuck he got. So it's like a drawl. I don't know if it's a speech impediment, but that drawl RZA got, and it's like it just made the verse sound like even doper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like RZA verse was so dope, he made Ray can't come back with a second verse. Because that shit is him, Meth, and Ray. I believe Ray kick it off and he come back with a verse at the fucking end. Like, RZA, and you know, Meth is one of the
top, you know what I'm saying, spitters from the clan.
Top 10.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like every one of them niggas had their time. It's like the best nigga out of Wu. And RZA, he just shined on that joint. Duck Season, like RZA went crazy on that shit. That's like anytime I play Duck Season, like I gotta before I get to Map Verse, I gotta run RZA shit back. Like he was on some other shit.
I love that you named RZA because I feel like a lot of people overlook him as an MC. Like I've actually seen people call RZA whack, and I'm like, yo, god damn, like I ain't saying he the best producer on the mic, but I ain't never on those classic Wu joints. I ain't never feel like, yo, why he rap? Like why was he part of that? You know what I mean? I feel like somehow cats have labeled him as like, you know what I mean, this whack ass rapper, and I'm like, nah, that nigga got some shit. You know what I mean? So it's definitely dope that you named him there. Burn, what you got for another joint, good brother? You muted, brother.
All right, I'm gonna go in a different direction. In '94, it was this documentary that dropped called "Banging in Little Rock." I don't know how many of y'all ever saw that shit. Came out in like 1994. So happened one of the best storytelling raps came out in 1991, and I picked this because it was prophetic and it was a dope ass story. And it was My Summer Vacation from Ice Cube. And if you gonna tell a goddamn story that fucking comes true 3 years later, I don't even know how he did it. But it was the story about how LA gangbangers was going out of town and setting up shops selling crack in little fucking small down south towns, and this shit started. It's the world we live in today, and the story was just very, very, very cohesive. And I was a clinic on storytelling if I ever had one. So that's my number 2.
That's dope. That's dope. And I'm glad you touched on the storytelling piece because I got one coming around like that too. That's very dope. Very dope. Amir, what you got up next, good brother?
It was a toss up. I'm gonna keep it a buck though, because I thought this nigga was an L nigga. I was gonna go a whole 22 twos, but it's really gonna go to Keith Murray, most beautifulest thing in the world. That nigga was black and bro. And it was commercial, and it was in it.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel you, bro. The first time I heard that, I think we all, again, just speaking for the niggas at Morgan and the niggas I was running with, it was like, yo, it was one of those what the fuck moments.
That
you know what I mean?
Still on the Lexus with his Tim's on, B.
Yeah.
Good in my book forever.
Nah. Murray was a problem. But it's funny.
And that was between the sheets. That was between the sheets.
Right.
With the sample.
Yeah.
SP500. I remember.
Yep. All right, Trey, you may have a point there, good brother. You know I ain't never got a problem saying I'm wrong. You know what I mean? You got a point. You got a point.
With the filter.
You got the point. And I think it's too, like you said, it's the MC, because some shit just can't be denied. You know, and them rhymes on the most beautifulest thing, you know what I mean, just can't be denied to the chorus. You know what I mean? You have that nigga made beautifulest a word. You know what I mean? Like this nigga made a fucked up word a real word. So it's like, yo, you know, you can't deny it. That nigga could have been rapping over anything. You know what I mean? But it's funny, man, that you was gonna say 22 twos because I asked Trey that about the Rod do Lyrics of Fury acapella because I was down here. Howard had a rap sheet conference I was working in, I think 96, and Jay came down. This before Reasonable Doubt. Like nobody even really knew who Jay was. He did 22 twos acapella, and niggas was like, yo, like, oh shit, like this nigga's nice. You know what I mean? So it's funny you said 22 twos because that when Trey said everybody was sitting there like, oh shit, it reminded me of that moment at Howard when Jay did 22 twos acapella. So it's funny you said that, and then that tied back into Lyrics of Fury joint. JR, take us to church again, bro. Give us an R&B joint where somebody lost their mind.
Trey gonna agree with this one. Kenny Green with River in the Sky.
Woo!
Like that he went off. I know the moment he takes the church on this song because I know it so much. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. From
that nigga
point,
said 2 minutes
all
and
the way
40
to
seconds.
6:22, it's a wrap, yo. Like Kenny goes off, and it's like he goes to church, yo. Like you, like, damn, like, whoo. And it's like he put his own backgrounds in it and doing all that, and it's just like when you listen to that, you be like, yo, if you don't sing, don't. Like
that nigga, if you don't sing, don't. Just stop.
Don't. Like all that he doing and he riffing and doing all that, like, and you can tell it's not forced like some of these people today. But like this here, he ate this record, yo. I don't even think about Stevie's no more. I'm sorry. But
that's it right there, bro. And that's what I was about to say. I always tell people, don't touch a classic if you can't do it justice.
Right.
And Kenny just didn't do it justice. He took that shit from Stevie. That nigga fucking, just to get a rep Stevie, stick up kids is out the tax. That nigga took Stevie's shit and made it his own.
First and only time. And only time.
That's why Stevie had to be in the video. Stevie was like, who this nigga, like, owning my song like this? Like, I gotta be in this video. I gotta know who this nigga is. Like, he just took this song away from me, and I'm like, I don't think Stevie ever did live ever again.
Not only did he take a song, he took a classic. It wasn't just a song. He took a classic.
This wasn't Have a Talk with God. This wasn't, you know what I mean? Some side shit. You took Ribbon in the Sky. And no matter what you want to say, Philly, we say Extorted. What they say out West, Vern, Mark, you got Jack, Mark ass bus, whatever. That nigga got robbed in every fucking category of that dialect you want to say. That nigga got extorted. You know what I mean? So great pull again, JR. Great pull. Trey, what you got for your next joint?
I already piggybacked off.
Oh man, that worked. All right, Rel, what you got for your next joint?
So like with Rakim, like you can like say this for a couple of songs, but my personal favorite was Know the Ledge. I just, you know, I was saying on a previous show how like when I was a kid, I like to try to memorize verses. That particular song, you want to talk about somebody struggling, because he was spitting like at a rapid pace, you know what I'm saying? 4 verses, not 3, 4, you know what I mean? And it fit with the movie because it was on the movie. It was on the Juice soundtrack.
Right.
It fit perfectly. Like, and he just like the imagery. Like, even without watching the video, you can kind of just see what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of them things. I'm like, yo, is he going like slow down, stop? No, he's just going. Like, we can't get. You know what I'm saying? Like now, you might get 3 verses out somebody. This dude gave us a strong 4. And I just felt like that song like was probably one of the best soundtrack songs ever to me because it just fits so perfect. That and Straight Up Menace, both of those they just fit the movie soundtrack so perfect. You know what I'm saying? So I had probably like 5 other songs I could have did for Rakim. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like but I'm gonna go with that one. I'm gonna go with Know the Ledge.
And the funny thing about that, bro, is you said 4 verses and nobody was tied up.
Nope.
Nobody was like, oh, when, come on, when's this shit over? Like, to be honest with you, I didn't even realize off the top it was 4 verses. You know what I mean? Because it feel like 3. Nothing better than sitting through a 4-hour movie and it feel like it was only an hour and a half. Like, nigga, you done did something. If you can make a nigga sit through a 4-hour movie and they ain't tired, moving around in their seat, getting uncomfortable, like, so yeah. Ride with that. I'm gonna stick with the Ride Train too and go with my melody, man.
You can go all night. We could do this whole ride.
The first time I heard my melody, man, I'm in Brooklyn in my aunt's crib, and it's just like it come on the radio, and it's just like it's slow. The flow is there, it's giving you a chance to hear everything, and it's just so many. There's certain lines that just still speak to me. Of course, that I take 7 MCs and put them in a line. Like, to me, that could be one of the top 10 bars ever. Like, just that alone. Just because at that time, this is probably 86, you know, when the 12 inches. That's why I teach people, just because the album dropped in 88 don't mean that we weren't hearing songs in 12 inches before the album dropped. So people think Okay, Paid in Full dropped in 88. Nigga, how you hear my melody in 86? Nigga, like, that's how shit was. The 12-inch could live for 6 months to 8 months to sometimes to a year. You know what I mean? Especially if your 12-inch is My Melody back with Eric B as president. That shit could last for 2 years back then. You know what I mean?
Is my favorite Eric B and Rakim song ever. That's one of my top 5 songs ever, period. But
right. But I mean, not just to take 7 MCs, put them in a line, grab 7 more brothers, think they could rhyme, it'll take 7 more before I go for mine. Now it's 21 MCs, 8 up at the same time. Like, and again, like at that time, and that's why I keep trying to give you the time frame of 86. Like, somebody doing that was just like, oh shit, this nigga just added up these MCs and said that's 21 MCs, 8 up at the same time. Like, I get it. If you a young boy, it's like, nigga, so what? That ain't nothing. Go back and listen to what else was being rapped in 86, and then you'll understand.
And the way he bounced it, it was the bounce too. Like, now that's 21 MCs, 8 up at the same time.
He does it. Yeah, like, you know. Trey, talk. I'm gonna finish, but I'm gonna come back to you for something with that. And then I don't know why this. I always used to say, "There's any MC that disagree with me could wave your arm." Like, it's just a small little line. But I remember being a shorty, 86. I'm 12 years old, nigga. Man, just wave your arm. Niggas like, fuck you talking about, nigga. Just wave your arm, man. Just, you know what I mean? Like, and then the last one was pull out your money, pull out your cup, pull out the chair. I'ma tear this shit up. My name is Rakim Allah. Yo, I mean, it just, it was.
Come on, Kill, you gotta finish. My name is Rakim Allah. The A stands for Raw. Switch it around. It still comes out raw.
So easily do I EMCEE?
No, just listen. I want y'all to gather what I just said. My name is Rakim Allah. The R, the A stands for Ra. Switch it around, meaning the R and the A, go to the A and the R, it still comes out R. Nigga, this is 86.
Yo, and here's the crazy thing, bro. I'll send this to y'all, but I got it saved on my phone somewhere. Somewhere I found this clip of Rakim spitting this rhyme when he was 14. I'm going to find the clip and send it to y'all. And it's got a different beat, but he's kicking the rhymes to My Melody. So when he was 14 years old. So when cats be like, oh, Kill, come on, give these young boy rappers a chance. I'm like, nigga, my young boy rappers was fucking special ed. What are you talking about? Give them a chance. My young boy rappers was Nas. Nigga, he's 17, nigga. So was Nas in Live at the Barbecue. Like, we can't, I can't do the special ed class. I can't do that. I can't dumb down my level of what I like.
LL was 16, man.
Bro, I can't do that. I can't grade on a curve. I can't do that because the boys I had.
Straight out of Compton, I was still in high school.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stop. Just
what are you talking about? Give him what the fuck?
Yeah.
That baseline, I throw illegal at these niggas. I throw illegal. That baseline, illegal. Don't tell me shit.
That's it. That's right.
I could have named anybody. I get illegal. Them niggas was born. They didn't even have parents. Them niggas just made them rap together.
Yeah, Malik. That's right.
Oh,
This nigga said they was orphans. This nigga said
they was.
They were.
I didn't even know that shit.
Yeah,
my cousin don't rock. He wasn't rocking with his bands like that.
Oh, I didn't even know that shit.
Oh, niggas put them together and it worked. And them niggas was like 14, 15, some shit like that.
I always tell niggas fucking I Gets Busy. I still love I Gets Busy to this day. I still love it.
Yo, illegal go hard, man.
Because they was talking shit about everybody, the youngsters, ABC, all y'all niggas did it. And I loved it because Malik was like a baby Snoop and Jamal was like a baby Redman. It was like almost how, and in no way comparing this because it's totally different, but kind of how niggas looked at Chi Ali like Dre's little brother. Like it was on. It's like we had that. If people really pay attention, we had that because I remember when Shaheem came up, he looked like a little baby Meth. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like so many of these younger boy rappers kind of look like the people that they came up with. You know what I mean? So I'm in no way saying Chi Ali with AJ number was not like, you know, I get busy, but
let me say this real quick on the kid rapper shit. I don't know what happened to this dude or whatever, but that if the Kid A+ put out a Bonafide Latchkey Kid album, Bonafide.
Yes, Latchkey Kid was fire.
Get out my head, Vern. I was just
nigga, don't tell me nothing about no kid rapper. If you ain't heard the Latchkey, Bonafide classic. Bonafide.
To say him. That was my label mate. I can't. Me, A+, Cannabis, McGruff, like we all got signed to Universal at the same time, around the same time. And when you start talking about these kids, give him a chance. This nigga was 13, man.
Yeah.
Spitting fire.
Spitting next to AZ and Prodigy.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, man. 13. That little mama was singing her ass off.
Yeah. I still listen to A+ CD. That shit was fire.
Don't tell me shit. You should have said that, Kill, because that's right. Don't give me no age, because that's bullshit.
No, I feel you. But that's what niggas be like, yo, give him a chance to mature. Nah, nigga, yo, here's the thing, bro.
Michael Jackson. When he was starting out, Michael Jackson, nigga was what, 6?
Here's my thing. My thing. If you step on the court to play ball, I don't care what age you are. That's the core. If you stepped on the court, you want to play, then let's play. If you don't, if you're not ready to play, then go play down there. But if you step on this court, you gotta be ready to play. So that's my thing. God, who you got up next, good brother?
Next up, I got Big Pun, Dream Shatterer. Like that nigga.
Yikes.
Like, hey, yo, I shatter dreams like Jordan, assaulting batter your team. Your squadron, I'll be ball from rap like Adam and Eve from the carving my initials on your forehead. Every night before bed, you see the BP shine off your forehead. First that, I curse that. The first whack nigga with the worst rap. The scene work jack. Hit him with 1,000 pounds of pressure per slap. Make his whole body jerk back. Watch the earth crack, hand him his purse back. Like, that nigga was going crazy, bro. Like, big fan, when I first got on Pun, that nigga showed me what the fuck you can do. That's one of them shits where it was like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna ever be better than this, bro. You know what I'm saying? That was one of them moments. That was one of them moments. Like, that nigga Pun show, cause like, I'm from the crib. I'm from Chicago. So I started off listening to niggas like Do or Die, Twister, Crucial Conflict, shit like that. The Hometown Heroes, The Brat, you know what I'm saying? All that. New York niggas taught me how to rap. I've said this, you know what I'm saying, many times before. Chicago niggas taught me how to rap, but we had our own style and it didn't really go too far outside of Chicago. It's some Midwest shit for the most part. New York niggas taught me how to slow my shit down, get off the double time, and put my words together. But Pun? This nigga Pun? Bro, like, Pun was my G-Rap. And through Pun and through Nas, I ended up, you know, learning about G-Rap and going back and realizing G-Rap influenced me without me even knowing who G-Rap was for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? It's a story out there that Pun actually knelt and kissed G-Rap's hand when he first met him. That's how important G-Rap was to Pun. And now that I know who G-Rap is, he definitely got his flow from G-Rap. Pun was G-Rap on steroids. You know what I'm saying? So with that continuous multi-syllabic flow that was damn near almost a double time, but not quite. You know, so when I first heard, and it's funny because when I first heard Pun, I'm like, bro, this fat ass Hispanic nigga, like, get the fuck out of there. I don't want to hear that shit. It was the original I'm Not a Player with the OJs on that shit. Right. And even though he was spitting on that, when I go back and listen to it, like, he was spitting. But me, that was 98, so me, my 12-year-old mind, it's like, I ain't trying to hear that shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for whatever reason, my mind couldn't grasp it. I wasn't trying to hear it. But as I went, when I heard Twins, Deep Cover 98, I'm like, oh, that's this nigga? Nah, I really got to go back. I did myself a disservice. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, Dream Shatterer, bro, like this nigga, when you awaken, your manhood to be taken, faking like you Satan, when none of them an abomination, like, the nigga wordplay was just otherworldly. You know what I'm saying? He took what G-Rap perfected and just like injected that shit with some type of fucking alien, you know what I'm saying, DNA or some shit, bro. Like, the nigga Pun, that whole Capital Punishment, but Dream Shatterer, bro, one of the most technically sound displays of masterful lyricism, like, to me, ever. You know what I'm saying? That's my era. Like, from 96 to like 98, that's when I started paying attention, like, to the point where I'm understanding this shit. That's when my mind started computing these words and what these niggas was talking about. I've been on rap listening to it, but I'm a shorty. I couldn't really compute a lot of this shit. But 96 and 98, that's the era that made me like, nah, I'm rapping. I don't give a fuck about nothing else. I'm putting all my eggs in this basket right here, right now. I'm rapping. You know what I'm saying? And Pun was one of them niggas that really opened my mind to like what the fuck you can do with this craft. You know what I'm saying? So definitely Dream Shatter about Pun.
That's dope. I love how you said it's like Nas is your Rakim and how Pun is like your G-Rap. Like that's a dope way to put it. Yeah, I mean, that's dope. That's dope. Amir, who you got up next, bro?
Oh shit. Hold on. Okay, now. So I'm over here going through my archives, man, because there's mad names on my paper. But I'm not doing it for you know, this is just what impacted me as a black male coming up in general, right? And hearing these shit, some of this shit gave me paralysis, bro. You understand? So when I heard certain niggas' verses, I was froze, like, and I would write down their raps. That's how I started rapping. I would write down niggas' lyrics, bro. Steal my sister's shit. And like, you know what I mean? I would write down the words and I would just like repeat it to myself like, this is crazy. So a verse that did that to me was Capadonna when he wrote Winter War.
I knew somebody had to bring that one in. Somebody had to do it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man.
I purposely didn't say that one because I knew somebody was gonna bring it up.
I cocked back like a porcupine and reconstructed design. You understand? It was shit like that. It was shit like that. It was shit like that, bro. It traumatized my soul, nigga. I'm listening to this nigga. I said, yo, go give me the notebook, bro, because I was like the griot. I was the nigga that was gonna decipher the fucking hieroglyphics for these niggas in the room, my brother. So they look over my shoulder like, man, what it mean? I'm like, yo, let me fucking analyze this shit, my nigga. So Winter War's verse and get thrown from the Method Man Jeep. It was so much shit going on in this verse, nigga.
Wasn't that a freestyle like off the top?
Yo,
did he say he went off the top with that shit?
Yo, listen what I'm trying to tell you, man. And then he was a fly slick, because I always like the fly slick talking niggas, because they reminded me of my uncles and my cousins. Niggas, they really wasn't no killers, but they was always talking some slick shit, you know, and I thought it was funny. But Capadonna was, how can people forget this verse?
I think it's hard with Cap just because the people can't see him without seeing the other people in front of him. Like that's the gift, the curse of being in the Wu-Tang. It's like it's the gift of I'm part of this crazy crew that's historic and all that shit. Yeah. But I'm on the lower tier.
Yeah.
And not even from a talented perspective, but people are always gonna bring up Meth, Ray, Ghost, Dirty. You know what I mean? And Ray, that's 5 niggas that's always gonna be mentioned before your name.
Yeah, because we're talking about they've said openly that they looked up to Cap though, bro. Right. This was their OG.
Right. But the thing is that shit don't change the way the fans
I get what you're saying. But fan of Wu-Tang or fan of Afro Man, it wouldn't matter.
This nigga said Afro Man. Jesus Christ, man!
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I feel you. I'm with you. I'm just saying, yo, bro. Look at it like this. And maybe this is an analogy. Maybe it's not. I don't think Scottie Pippen will ever get the props he deserves because he played next to Mike. So sometimes,
okay, you know how you feel about beats and you want to get on intricate.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with verses sometimes. Like for the writers, like when we listen to an MC, I don't care who he was standing next to. He gave niggas 30.
Oh no! He put in work. I was just saying why I think other people, why the masses don't show
I think it was timing too. He was locked up. Yeah, he was locked up. He was locked up for a lot of that early time when they came out, because one of those verses, either that or his verse on Ice Cream, he said he just got out of jail.
Word, when he came through, he made them. He was the flyest nigga out of the whoop. The extra shit, I wasn't with it. I wasn't with the shit around the neck. I wasn't with all that. But the nigga, some of that shit was goofy. I fuck with him. Listen,
bro. I'm a fan. No, I'm just saying.
If I saw Cap, I would tell Cap, I love you. I think we follow each other on IG. Don't get it fucked up. I'm just saying. I would ask him, what was that shit about, my nigga? You know what I mean?
All right, back to the Cap. Again, I agree with Cap. I agree with you. Cap is a beast. I was just saying why I think more people don't name him. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it's right. Not saying it's right that they don't name him. But just because, like Rel said, he wasn't on Into the 36. You know what I mean? So timing, you just being around a bunch of other ill MCs, and it's kind of like, I mean, it's the same thing with Deck. I think Deck is one of the dopest MCs ever, but, you know, Deck's name isn't going to come up before the first 5 niggas I just named.
He's number 4.
In certain conversations, it would.
In certain conversations, probably with lyricists. You know what I mean? Or probably with die-hard heads, because, yeah. So like you said, in certain conversations, I'm just saying, like, for the bigger circle, for the masses of, and I hate hip-hop Twitter, but hip-hop Twitter, they're not mentioning Cap. You know, but again, I don't take them serious because I don't know how old half these motherfuckers are. You know what I mean? Half of them could be 21. So I don't know. But you're right, in certain circles, Deck's name will come up, but I seldomly hear Kappa's name ever really come up outside of maybe like Amir just said, Winter Wars. Like if we're going through songs, like if we got on here with regular niggas and just went through songs, niggas will probably say Kappa win awards and Ice Cream, because this verse of Ice Cream was stupid. I love that shit. You know what I mean? But that's all I was saying, why I think it doesn't get mentioned as much as it probably should. So
that nigga said you can get hip hop on this perfection.
Take us back to church before man breaks out the brush again, man. Here it comes, man. Take us to church, JR. Break us down with some R&B, man.
I'm gonna say Donny Hathaway's Giving Up.
Woo!
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that.
Just from the beginning, that's when I got that on my wall. Like, that song means everything. Like,
what's the album that's off?
It's off the 1971, his second album, the Donny Hathaway. It's self-titled, and I had already knew the song already because Gladys Knight and the Pips actually did it first back in 1964. But
what's the name of it?
Giving Up. And as soon as Donny comes in, he just come in humming, like that church humming. Like, you know, he's not, and for like 40 seconds, he's just humming. And it's from the, you know, he's not playing. You know what I'm saying? And like, he just comes in and just starts humming, and he brings you in. And it's like, all right, we going to church with him, like, for real. And from that moment, he just takes it all the way there. Then you got him on the piano. It's just,
yo, God, that's Chicago right there. That's Chicago.
Ain't nothing but Chicago, yes. Like, ain't nothing but Chicago. It's just, yo, Jerry Wexler just let him go with that. It was just like, do you? And he just did. And it's just like, the first 40 seconds, if you know about church and you know you've been there, you know from the break, as soon as you hear him starting to, you know, just hum, you like, yeah, Donnie's from the church. You get chills just hearing it. And then he takes you there, because Donnie has just a way of bringing you in anyway, because he had a sadness to him. So it's like you felt them. You felt like the sadness that he had. You kind of wanted to be like, yo, Donnie, everything gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? After that. But it's just like, that's how like sad he was. Like, even the way he played his keys, you like, damn, like, yo, you going through a lot. And then this song right here, it's just like, I don't know if you don't know what church is, this song is it, just from the first 40 seconds. So this song just took me when I was a kid. I was like, whoa. I just stopped. And I had to ask my mom, like, who is this? And she was like, Donny Hathaway. And from that moment, he's been a number 2 of my favorite singers of all time, period. So,
one more time, what's the name of the joint?
Giving Up.
Yeah, I'm gonna check this joint out tonight. I'm gonna check
So
it out.
as soon as he gonna get you right in. That drum gonna boom and he gonna come right in, and it's a wrap.
Yeah, I got a question for you. Yeah. Cause like the song he got, "Someday We'll All Be Free," that gives me like a weird, sad, eerie feeling listening to that song.
It does.
So is his music like, is that reflective of stuff he was really going through in his life? That's why it translates like that into his.
Because he really thought, like, when he performed the song, he wanted to be free because he had schizophrenia. So when that person gave him this record, it was just like he wanted to be free, but he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But I never knew
the boy had schizophrenia.
He had schizophrenia. Like, people thought he was crazy. Like, people really thought he was crazy. He would tell people that, yo, they trying to take my brain. Like,
he would hear voices in his head.
And he had a song on Everything Is Everything. I hear voices. Like, he's telling you in his music, like, what the hell he's going through. That's why a lot of people say, if you're going to listen to Donnie, be ready to be sad, because he's really telling his story. Even if he didn't write it, he's really telling you his story in it.
So, and again, I'm never one of these folk out here who front. I'm not, I know the hits. I don't know the inner workings of Donnie. Is that kind of like Phyllis Hyman? How it was with her? How like you hear her pain in her music?
In a way, yeah, it's definitely like that. Phyllis was definitely like that. She was the type that you needed to give her a song that she could understand, that she can relate to, and that's why Living All Alone, you feel that like she really felt alone in the world. So that's why it felt so like eerie. Like, I can't even listen to that song like that. I'll be like, whew, that's just, it's too much. It's too. It hits your heartstring and be like, yo, I can't. So yeah.
And JR, if you can piggyback off of this, the other thing of not only was he dealing with himself, but Donnie, to me, at that particular time, there was only one person standing in his way, and that also affected, with regard to his career, affected how he thought, and that was Stevie.
Yep.
But for Stevie, Donnie would have been like the revered guy, and
he would have been.
Stevie was the single thing that stood in Donnie's way.
That's absolutely right, because Jerry Rexler knew, like, he got Ray Charles, he got Aretha, and he got Donnie. Donnie was like, Jerry Rexler said Donnie was the best musician he ever heard. Curtis Mayfield was like, he was the best musician he ever dealt with. Aretha wanted him to play on everything that she did. Like, he was that dope. And it was like the label really didn't push Donnie a lot as much as Stevie got at Motown. And when he tried to do Extensions of a Man, you can see a lot of that Stevie influence in there, but they didn't push it. It was.
Now here's the thing: did they have beef, or were you just saying that?
No, it wasn't no beef. It was just like, it could only be one.
Right.
That's what
it goes back to how I always say it can only be one.
It can only be one, and that's why
it's almost like the Knicks. It's like how Jordan stopped the Knicks and in the end stopped a lot of people from getting championships. I'm not saying that's no shot. That's no shot, JR. I'm just saying, like, that's what you're saying. Like, Stevie was stopping him from becoming the greatness he could.
It really was, because
he was just as great. Because
he was. A lot of people give Donnie the reason for, honestly, the neo soul. Honestly, he's kind of like the one that kind of.
And I mean, we all. Then Stevie does have the trump card because he's blind. So I mean,
I don't think that played in
big part in it either. No.
Yeah.
You don't?
Nah, I don't.
Nah. Like, if you listen to a lot of the, the cats back then that were that were involved back then, they'll tell you, nigga, Stevie and Donnie face up, motherfucker. Like, it's whatever.
If you wanted a versus, get them to, like, for real. Like, they will get. Even Stevie would sometimes be like, I gotta bow to Donnie. That's how dope he was. Like, so it was like, we know, Stevie had the backing of Motown. That's the bottom line. Yep. And then
I gotta do my homework on Donnie. I gotta do my homework.
He only got 3 albums and then one with Roberta. So 2 with Roberta, actually, but he died making that one.
Right. So. Trey, who you got up next?
Sitting in the back of this chair, we hitting the ropes. The smoke goes back in the blunt. blunt gets bigger and grows.
Oh, I know.
Talk.
I know what that is.
Back in the jar. The blunt turns back into a cigar. Listening to Stevie, it sounded like heavy metal fans spinning records backwards and AC. I give my niggas dap, jump out the van, black back first. Back upstairs, took off the black shirt. I'm in the crib with the phone to my ear, listening up so y'all can figure out poem real clear. The voice on the phone was like outside right weed. With my mouth wide, holding my heat. Bullets, I had plenty to squeeze, plenty for ya. Cause Jungle said, "Knock your
on the enemy's stuff."
Listen, man, I gotta do better.
Talk that shit, Trey Lee.
Talk
that shit, Trey Lee.
That, yo. What?
Talk.
I'm only doing joints where I'm thinking to myself, I gotta do better. Nigga. Listen, motherfuckers call me the Russian judge when it comes to MCs. Like, I'm a snob. Like, nigga, it's okay. It's cool. It's all right. You got a couple bars. It's cool. Nigga, I heard this. I got to do better.
Yeah.
Backwards? Backwards? Nigga, backwards?
Go
Come on,
shit.
Man. Listen, all the MCs in the room, like, how do you fix your mind to do shit like that? Like, where are you in that? Like, how do you get in that space?
That's another one of them joints. I was like, bro, I'd never be this nice, bro. Like, fuck, man. Like, that was another one of them joints. Like, damn, man. Like, you gotta
fix your brain, and it gotta be in a certain space because it happens.
Where was he at with that?
It does happen. You understand me? It does happen. We've all experienced, but it's like getting there. Like, it's like eureka. It's like, what the fuck did I just find? This shit is fire. I know he said that to himself. He had to. Like, nigga, I got these niggas. That's what he said. He said, I got these niggas.
Mm-hmm. All that shit he was going through, that J shit, all that other shit, beefing with Mega and Nature and all them other, like, bro, that shit, he held on to that shit and harbored that shit, and that nigga came back with a fucking vengeance, bro. Because if you notice, Stillmatic was not right after Takeover and all that shit. It was a long period of time before that album came out, bro. He held on to a lot of that shit, and when he was ready, like, exactly what he said, I got you niggas, bro.
I got these niggas.
Like, that nigga Nas was on some other shit, man.
Don't fuck with me again. That's what he said.
Period.
And that whole time after Takeover, like, I suffered, bro, because niggas in school was teasing me so bad.
We
like,
talked about it. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Your man is done. I'm like, yo, chill.
I was the Nas guy. Everybody else on the block was Hove. I was the Nas guy.
Same head.
Yeah.
When Ether dropped, you'd have thought
nigga,
Super Bowl. Man. What? I was talking heavy when that shit dropped, bro.
Niggas want to fight, bro.
Don't ever doubt my man. Don't ever doubt. I was going crazy. I was going crazy.
Trey, here's the funny part about this show being about a rap clinic. Because when my teens want to talk to me about rap, I let them, we go somewhere for a ride, get something to eat. I'll be like, yo, play me one of your peoples, one of your MCs. Yo, play me something. I'll be like, yo, let me play you something. I'll play him. I usually play him Nas, I Gave You Power, Rewind, or Jay's Where I'm From. So when I'm playing my man Rewind, he like, come on, kill this, that, fuck out of here, man. Outside right, we fuck he talking about. I'm like, say it backwards. He was like, we right outside. Oh shit, yo. He said it backwards. And I'm like, yeah, nigga. Now, can your favorite MC do that? And they be like, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to come at them like, yo, these new MCs is whack. And then the wall go up. Then the defense go up. I'm gonna show you what the niggas I fuck with can do. And I'm gonna just simply ask you, can your niggas do that? Can your niggas put their arm in the motherfucking rim like that? That's who I came up on. You know what I mean?
Nigga personify an inanimate object. Case closed, man. I gave you power. Case closed.
That's peak perfection. That's perfection Nas, bro. That's
case closed, bro.
Perfection Nas. Peak perfection.
I love Slick Rick. I love Jay. I love the storytellers, but to me, if you ain't got I Gave You Power in one of your top 2 stories of all time, I understand children's story. I understand all that. No disrespect to Rick the Ruler. I am not trying to disrespect and come at the OGs. I'm not on that. But the man, I know Pharaoh Monch did it too with the bullet. You know what I'm saying? But fam, from beginning to end, I hate that he put that intro to try to explain this shit.
Right.
Because he kind of took.
Everybody talks about that like it's like I'm a gun. Like, yo, don't even say nothing, bro.
Don't even say nothing,
bro.
Yo,
that joint, bro. Like, I gave you power, bro. Like, nah.
And you talk about the third verse, the way he sets that off with, you know, I'm still stuck with all the shit that are outlaw highs. Besides me, it's bullets. Like, again, like Vern said with New York State of Mind, I'm in New York. Yo, I'm in this drawer with this gun like it's fucking Toy Story right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm there. Like, I'm Buzz Lightyear. Like, I'm seeing all the shit that are outlaw hides. You know what I mean? So, I mean, again, so that is a clinic because, Trey, I do use that with my teams to explain, you know, this is what a dope MC does. And again, I've never come across any of my teams who have ever said, yeah, my favorite MC, little fill in the blank, can do that. You know what I mean?
And you know, and the thing is, you can't do it again. I don't want to hear nobody do no backward shit. When you put the stamp on it like that, I don't want to hear it from nobody else ever.
So I can't do it on the mixtape, bro?
No. Leave it alone, son. Leave it alone.
I'm gonna do vanilla.
You know what, Trey?
I'm gonna do Vanilla Ice. I'm gonna do Vanilla Ice.
Yo, Trey, here's the funny part. Here's the funny part with that about doing it again. That's how I felt when people always do Combs. I used to love her. Like the hip hop to a girl. I'm like, yo, I'm tired of that shit. Like Love Master Ace to Death. Him and Marco Polo just did a joint like that. I'm like, bro, come on. Like, yo, stop it. Like, nobody's done it doper than Common, and that was 94. Like, stop it, y'all. Like, even the Roots with Love of My Life, like, stop. Like, I don't want to hear hip-hop talked about as a woman ever again. So I'm with you on that, Trey. I never want to hear, like, stop it, y'all. Like, that broke my heart when I heard Ace 2. I'm like, bro, niggas did that 25 years ago. It's like, JR, what we said, Ribbon in the Sky. If you're not doing it better, so if you want to say, yo, I want to write a song about hip-hop being a girl, god damn it, you better fucking listen. You better listen. I used to love it, and you better do it better than that. Because if you're not, you just wasting studio time, you wasting my time, you wasting the beat, you just stop it.
Plus, cats like Ace, you better, like, you dope. You don't have to do that. You can cut. You want to?
I can't. So I can't do the Ying Yang Twins Whisper song. I can't.
No, man. No, man.
Nigga said the Ying Yang Twins the Whisper song. Hey,
yo, here's the wild part. Here's the wild part. I bet money this nigga right there, he'll fuck around and do a song tonight, doing all 3 verses of what we just told him not to do.
Right.
Watch. And it'd be dope too. Because I know that nigga like, all right, fuck that. Like, I'm gonna whisper one verse. I'm gonna talk about hip hop like I ain't gonna do it like I'm gonna do it like she's something else.
Then I'm gonna tell it backwards. And then I'm gonna tell it backwards.
Right. I'm gonna whisper backwards. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk about hip hop like I'm gonna whisper backwards from her getting pregnant to me meeting her. All right, bet. Watch. Shit, I don't even know who Trey, did I just do you? Or
rewind. Yeah.
All right, bro, what's yours?
I'm gonna go to Philly. I'm gonna go Black Thought on Concerto of a Desperado. And that album, like, that's when I really started messing with the Roots. Like, when I heard Clones and I heard that John, like, and I'm from Philly, like, that's when I would really start messing with him. But he was in his bag. Them verses he had on that.
To me, that's his coming out party. To me, that's Thought at his best. And I know people will disagree with me. I'm gonna get into something else later, but yeah, Thought was in his bag on that.
This dude said the Implorer, the Universe Explorer, treat them seas like cities, Sodom and Gomorrah. Even you niggas open like the box of Pandora with styles of food in the world order. Yo, man, he was
approximately 3/4
of y'all in the water. Yeah,
student, niggas don't ever. I got a master's degree in watching other niggas.
Yo. crazy thing.
Spazzing on that song, bro.
Crazy thing, man. My man Sir came through my crib one day in Philly. Was like, Tribe was like, I mean, Roots was like Tribe to me. People's Instinctives was a cool album. I'm like, them niggas is cool, whatever. Same thing with Tribe. I mean, with Roots. When Do You Want More came out, I'm like, that shit's cute. That shit's cool, whatever. My man Sir comes through the crib. He's like, yo, Kill. Motherfucking Tariq changed the name to the Bad Lieutenant. Like, yo, I've been in some sessions, bro. You gonna love this new Roots album. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, nigga, we'll see. And Illadelph, to me, was their low-end theory. You know what I mean? Because I was like, yo, this nigga spazzing? I'm like, why the fuck is Malik in the group? Then Malik comes out. My favorite Roots song ever is No Great Pretender. Black Thought is not on my favorite Roots song ever. It's a Malik B solo cut. And I remember that's how niggas felt about Phife with Butter. When Low End dropped, everybody knew was like, Butter. It's like, oh, that's why Phife said. I'm like, oh, that's why Malik said. Yo, Thought on that album, and I loved how he would change like the syllables a little bit. Like,
change the way words were spoken.
Yeah, he changed the way that words were like pronounced to fit in the structure. Or oh my God, push up your lighter. Like, oh my God. Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority is what I'm probably on. If I ain't whipping the land throughout the sex, Sean, my mind's in Tron 9 times out of 10. I rhymes up on the L train. Like, yo, my head exploded because Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority is SEPTA. That's our bus system in Philly. But nobody ever fucking says Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority. Nobody in Philadelphia has ever said that. You just say SEPTA. Yo, crazy thing. And I'm going to just piggyback that on into my next joint, Black Thought's Funk Flex Freestyle. Yeah. That was a masterclass of MCing. Now, somebody out there who listens to Apartment 5B is like, Kill, because there's some lie from the pit of hell that I don't like Black Thought. I don't know where niggas get that from. I love Thought. I don't think he's an incredible storyteller. I like incredible storytellers. That's my only knock on Thought. That's just why he's not one of my favorite. That's it. It doesn't mean I don't think he's great. He's one of the greatest MCs ever, especially out of Philly. But he's not a very dope storyteller, in my opinion, if it's not about a girl. Yes, sir, Amir.
Yo. I don't agree, B. I'm going to tell you why. I think you having an oversight. Remember that record he had called Panic?
Yeah, I remember Panic.
That was a story, bro.
No, it was. Here's what I'm saying. And I will put this challenge out there. This challenge, JR knows this challenge has been out there in the ether for 9 years.
Yes.
No one has been able to complete it. This shit, you may have a better chance of finding the Ark of the Covenant than finding someone who can complete this challenge. Which is simply...
Oh, wait, hold on. What did you just say?
You may have a better chance of finding the Ark of the Covenant. That shit that fucking Harrison Ford was looking for in Indiana Jones. You may find that shit first before you can do this challenge. Many have tried. It's never been completed.
Yeah, since 2015, Kill been making people do this.
And no one has completed it.
Nobody.
Simply name 15 songs where Black Thought stays on a specific topic. Niggas on the timeline was like, oh, that's easy out of all the... No one has completed, but it can't be about a girl. Niggas tried it for a week or two. Okay. Nobody could do it. Nigga, Kill, that's too hard. I'm at work one day. I got some time, and I timed myself. I did it for Common in 20 minutes. I did it for Google in 15 minutes. And left off their girl songs. I followed the same rules of Thought that I left off their girl songs. I had Black Thought people fighting each other. Yo, what was it? Stars about the political imprisonment of the black man. No, Stars about that. See, I said, you don't get that shit with Just to Get a Rep. Ain't nobody gonna argue over Just to Get a Rep is about stick-up kids. Soliloquy Chaos is about we tried to go to a party, niggas shot it up, we couldn't do it. JFK to LAX is about, yo, nigga got caught with the gun trying to get... And again, I don't want to belabor the point. Anybody who thinks they can do it, knock yourself out. I'll even give you 2. This is how fucking confident I am. It's like on a basketball court. Nigga, I spot you 5. Don't forget about Reality TV, which was off of Dilla's joint. And what's another joint? I'll look it up. But I gave niggas like 3 or 4. Like, here, let me help you motherfuckers. I'll help you. And nobody... What was this JR 2015?
No, you asked this in 2015 and nobody has done it.
It's been 7 years. No one has been able to complete it. So again, I don't want to belabor it. If y'all want to try it, knock yourself the fuck out. A lot of people have tried. None have completed the shit.
What is it? You have to stay on one specific point?
One specific topic. So the same way, like I said, Payback is a grandmother. His grandmother got robbed on a riverboat. He's trying to figure out who did it. Stolen Moment. Somebody broke into Common's crib. They're trying to figure out who did it. Testify. You think it's Common. You think it's the dude, but it's really the girl who is the queen pit. Like, I'm literally just very simple. This isn't even fucking no breaking down fractions. Just where Black Thought, where you can say he is talking about this and not no political. No. Very specific, because with You Got Me, it's, oh, he's talking about a girl he met in France and blah, 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 blah. Oh, Break You Off. Oh, he's talking about a girl. Oh, Silent Treatment. He's talking about woo, woo, woo. The same way you would break down those 3 songs, break down, and the Roots got what, 122 fucking albums? So you got over 5 million songs to pick from. So again, don't want to belabor it. Knock yourselves out. If you could buy, you could do it. Cheesesteaks on me. But again, trust me. There have been Black Thought stands that haven't been able to fucking complete this challenge.
That's a good challenge. That's a good challenge.
Oh, it's a great fucking challenge.
It ain't been done yet.
It ain't been done yet. 7 years.
I mean, you know.
But again, but all that to say, that is not a knock on Thought. That is my personal preference, what I want from an MC. That I want those stories. That's it. If you just want somebody to go bar somebody to death, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, that is Thought. This Funk Flex freestyle is him just going the fuck in.
Oh yeah,
and there are people who enjoy that all the time. I'm just not one of those people who enjoy it all the time. I enjoy it, just not all the time. Trey, we talked when Streams of Consciousness first came out. It sounded like he went straight from the studio with Flex right into the studio to do Streams of Consciousness ones with Knife. I said, this nigga just left the radio station, just kept on rapping. That nigga started rapping in the cab, got the 9th one and just kept on rapping, which is cool if that's what you're into. It's the same thing with women. We all probably find different type of women attractive. That's cool. It's all about what speaks to you. That bar and shit just doesn't do me for a whole album. That's cool for a song here and there, but I need more from it. That's all it is. So again, I'm trying to give Thought some love here, because somebody watching is gonna be like, nigga, every time you try to give Thought love, you shit on him. I'm not shitting on him. I'm not shitting on him. If you as a basketball fan like niggas who can dunk and Steph Curry can't dunk, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense why you don't like Steph. He can't dunk. I mean, he can, but he's not Vince Carter. You know what I mean? So it's no knock on Steph. It's just, if you like dunkers, I'm going to assume Steph Curry may not be one of your top 5 players. It's not disrespecting his greatness. It's not disrespecting his place in the Hall of Fame. It's not disrespecting anything he's done for his legacy. It just doesn't speak to you. That's all it is. But back to this, the Funk Flex freestyle, he just went the fuck off. I loved it because my phone was blowing up all night. From tweets, from texts, to phone calls. And what it kind of showed me was a lot of you niggas haven't been listening, because if you really knew Thought, this was no surprise. Right. This was literally no surprise. Niggas like, oh my God, you heard Thought? I was like, nah, what happened? He's like, yo, get home. And I'm like, oh, Thought been doing that shit since South Street. Like, that ain't shit. Like, that just lets me know you probably ain't never heard a whole Roots album before. That's all. You being this shot just lets me know you're really not a diehard Roots fan.
You've been exposed.
Yeah, like that's just because Thought does that with his eyes closed. Thought did that on his Lyricist Lounge back in '97, the joint on Raucous, when it was him and Common. I think somebody, maybe Most, was up at Stretch and Bobbito and they did it. Thought always blacks out. Like, that's never an issue. So
that's light work. That's light work.
Yeah, that was So again, but I think that was a lyrical class. It wasn't a freestyle in a Philadelphia definition of off the top. Of course, it was written, but that nigga rhymed for 11 minutes and didn't miss a beat. The breath control was crazy. Every line, every bar was there was no mess ups. Like that right there is a class in MC. How you couldn't? I don't know. Like God and Trey, I guess maybe UMCs. My memory is going, but the way y'all are still able to spit other people's rhymes like that is amazing to me. But then to be able to spit something like that, like what Thought did for 11 minutes and do it perfect, like live on air, that's a class. That's a master class right there.
You know what's crazy too? You know how like when other people do they freestyle, the beat come on, they be like, all right, yo, Yo, as soon as the beat dropped, he just started spitting.
That nigga was on it, yup.
As soon as the beat dropped, he just went. I said, God damn, yeah, that shit was amazing, bro.
And I definitely want to put an extra emphasis on the breath control. Like,
yeah,
the breath control was that was, to me, that was the most impressive part about it, because like you said, Kill, I mean, that's really like kind of light work for Thought, like what he did, what he was saying and shit. That's vintage Thought. But it's the breath control. It's like the on the spot for 11-minute breath control. That's the part that stood out. It's like this right here takes conditioning. This tells me you've been doing this shit for a long time. Like, you don't just, that's mastery. You have to master that. You know what I'm saying? Right. You have to master that. And he's sitting down. You understand me? Like, he's not standing up. This nigga's sitting down doing this shit.
Now tell me this from an MC's perspective. I don't know the difference. Is it harder to rhyme sitting down versus standing up on a mic?
For 11 minutes? Absolutely. Shit. Because you're coming from your diaphragm. You know what I'm saying? You're coming from your diaphragm, and the way that he's enunciating and coming with certain words and putting, emphasis on certain shit, and he's doing this shit sitting down. So that means, you're not using your entire shit. You just sitting there like fucking trying to do that shit. That shit is difficult. That shit is difficult as hell.
See, that's why I want y'all up here. I don't know that shit. So I'm you know me, I'm an open book. I want to learn.
That's a feat, motherfucker. I'm like, God damn.
That's like, what was that JR Marvin laying down, recording I Want You?
Yeah. That's a feat. That shit, that Marvin shit was a feat, nigga.
Yeah. This nigga laying down on the couch like this, like sounded incredible, like nigga. Yeah, that's dope. God, who you got up next, man?
Hey, yo, you skipped Vern, yo. I think the last time.
Well, I go Guy Vern, but we could go Vern, Guy. Vern, what you got?
My class is gonna be the fucking state property D block battle.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I don't know if that shit qualified, but that shit was a class on fucking Titan Cruise, completely fucking nuts for about 2-3 weeks. The whole battle? I think that was like the LimeWire days or a little bit after it, but you just that nigga said I'm about to son Kiss like a soda, and I lost my fucking mind because Beanie did not come to play at all. All the lies in that shit out even before he brought Free in. It was incredible, but they was really, really at it, and it didn't spill into nothing. You know what I mean? That shit was just a course on how to fucking go at it viciously.
It almost got ugly in Philly once. That's because kids get on stage. Right.
Stage and this Beanie in Philly.
Right. That's where it almost got real. That's where it almost got real for a minute.
That shit was hard though. I'm sorry.
Riding
again. Yo, that shit.
That shit was
hard. But Vern, I understand exactly what you're saying, because that was one of them fights. It was just a knock. It was like almost, if you tell me Kiss won, I ain't got no beef. If you say Beans won, it was one of them battles where every time you thought the other one got the other one came back with something else.
You couldn't wait for the reply. You couldn't wait, because each one was worse than the first. Like, it was vicious. When Beanie came on that "Put Your Hands Up," I was like, oh my god, he's trying. Like, I love the locks, but I was instantly streaking with Bean as soon as I heard him on Reservoir Dogs, and I was like, I like this dude, but I didn't know, right? Like, I seen them fucking niggas up on backstage and shit. Like, this nigga kind of different, right? He like to fucking fight and shit, but when he went at kissing them like that, because I always thought them niggas was like the grimiest niggas I ever heard until him. You know what I'm saying? And that's when Freeway used to stretch his words and shit. Still, it was ridiculous. The shit was ridiculous.
Yeah, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. I get that shit to D block only because once the locks got in, that kind of tipped the scales for me. Because before, when it was just Kiss and Beans, I ain't gonna lie, I was a Kiss fanatic. Kiss one of them niggas that taught me how to put words together. And when that shit hurt me when Beanie got off on that "Put Your Hands Up" beat, that shit hurt me, man. And then when Kiss came back on the disco joint, I'm like, it's cool, but come on, Kiss.
Right.
I understand you trying to flex, but this nigga just really went at you. But when Styles and She came in, I feel like that kind of that kind of tilted it in D Block's favor because Styles alone off the Ray J shit. Nah, I ain't been lead out. But every gun that I touched or our own dog, I emptied out. You the boss till your men be out. For they soul be gone, blood be missing and wind be out. Got the motherfucking 9 hollow. And the only thing got niggas trying to pop is the cork on the wine bottle. Like, what? Like, that nigga Styles was going crazy. It's like Styles was sitting in the corner waiting for a nigga to say something stupid. He came in, 2 guns up. Like he always say, bro. That nigga Styles was going crazy, bro. He
that shit was like
crazy for the whole battle, bro.
That was like the last NBA championship. That experience won out. Because that nigga Beans had Kiss on the ropes early.
Yeah,
early.
yeah. And that's why the Locks joining in kind of tilted it in D Block's favor for me. And that shit they did off his Jigga, that nigga Jigga shit. No.
And here was my thing too. I didn't think Beans had enough backup power with State Prop. Because I felt like Kiss had to go. I felt like Kiss had to go get his big brothers. That's what it felt like.
Property wasted their ammo at the fucking radio station.
They
dumped that shit on mixtape. They wasted that shit at the radio station.
They dumped their whole clip on that radio station, yo. They dumped their whole clip, yo.
Experience. Like I said, experience won out.
Yeah.
It's almost just like the Locks Dipset battle. Experience won out. Them niggas knew the experience of being on stage and knowing how to work the stage and work the crowd. That shit won out.
And let's keep it a buck. Skills.
I mean, yeah, skills too, but I mean the way that they did, like them niggas was like a well-oiled machine. You know what I mean? Like that looked like they just some of them niggas look like we ain't even spoken a week. Like nigga, like you know what I mean? Versus it being like, you know, them niggas still rock, but definitely a dope Vern pull Vern. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I missed you last time. So give me another one too. I don't want to have you hold it.
All right, well shit. My other one is bear with me. When the MCs came to live out the name,
to perform,
the snort cocaine, the acting sang, rocked it off. Come on, man, nigga, Liquid Sword, that nigga was dancing on that motherfucker all the way through it, And you talked about the niggas that didn't get mentioned, but that nigga Jizzle put up 50 that game. That was a 50-point.
Nigga, that shit was talk. He pull up 50, man.
That was a heavy fucking pen, man. The intro was long as shit, and you just waiting, but then so you hear that shit, you like, okay.
Yeah, that's
yo, really get the track. Come on, my nigga, like every fucking verse.
That nigga said.
I mean, Jizza to me is he's like what we talked about earlier. He's like a rap technician. He's really like a rap technician.
Jizza heavy, man. That shit was fucking crazy.
That's
I didn't get the whole album the first night. I listened to that shit about 100 times before I even got to the next song. I couldn't get past it.
Rap technician, man.
Burn. That nigga said that's minimum and feminine like sandals.
Oh man.
Come on, man.
Yo. Some niggas' names fit them perfect. And the Genius, the Jizza, that nigga's name just fits him perfect. Like, it's like, that's it. Like, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly who he is. That's what he does. It's just a beautiful thing.
It was like time stopped. It was just such a presence on that particular record. Like, it's almost like, I think that was like the 5th record out of the solo joints, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was like 4th or 5th to drop. And it's like he was waiting. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, this is what I do. And it's like, that, like I said, I love the whole fucking album, but that Liquid Swords, personally, like, I don't know if I heard anything that could just, like, what I can put against that as far as, like, I put that shit on, like, the follow the leader scales and shit like that when niggas just black the fuck out and set a complete standard. Like, it's gonna be hard to top this shit.
Jizza definitely cut from that Rakim clone. Jizza definitely cut from that Rakim clone.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I know cats talk about the Purple Tape, but I listen to Liquid Swords out of all the solo joints more so than any of them joints. Like, that was a masterclass in lyricism. Like, and that's my speed.
That's a dark motherfucking album right there. Well,
it's funny you say that too, Trey, because I wonder with things like that, because people always be like, whenever I want to hear Nas, I always pull It Was Written before Illmatic. And niggas be like, well, do you think it's better? I'm like, I don't know. I just know that's what I go to. So it's like how you said about the Purple Tape. Not saying you think Liquid Swords is better, but you listen to Liquid Swords more than you listen to the Purple tape. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's definitely there. God, what you got up next, bro?
I'm gonna keep it in line instead with the freestyles, and I'm gonna go Cannabis Ice Cream freestyle off the 60 Minutes of Funk Volume 2.
Funk Master Flex joint.
For all you niggas saying that my shit is sick, just imagine the 90% of my brain that I ain't even used yet. Take a deep breath quick, sucking as much air as my lungs will permit. Then I start to kick that shit. I've been getting busy before the planet started to turn, before the bees and birds and Adam and Eve occurred. Prior to all creation, in other words, when the female egg would merge with the man's sperm, I stand firm, my words burn through your exterior. They eat away at your material. I'm superior while you only pretend to be. I could double my density from 360 degrees to 720 instantly. 6 multiplied by 5, by 4, by 3, by 2, then 1. Go ahead and calculate the sum. The time is coming. I was summoned to punish motherfuckers with mouths that run the forward for rubbish. That nigga was going crazy, man. Like, and I know he got a million of those to where you can literally pick anything Cannabis did from 96 to 98. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was just on a crazy run when it came to the mixtapes. But that's one of the first joints that put me on Cannabis. And I'm like, yo, this nigga is incredible. At that time, it was him and it was Pun. And I'm mad as hell that them niggas never really got on the joint other than the Fantastic Four shit. Like, I needed a just Pun and Cannabis collaboration. That would have been dope. I needed that, and that shit never happened. And rumor has it, Fat Joe said this shit. I don't know how true it is, but Joe said it. The nigga Cannabis was ducking Pun. Like Pun was, and supposedly waited on him for like several studio sessions, and Biz never showed up. I don't know how true that is, but that's crazy, man. But yeah, Cannabis.
It's funny, like you said, Cannabis is one of those big what ifs. Because like you said, for that 2 years, and I always talk about that, like the dopest MC walking the planet Earth. Whatever year you want to peg that in at, like Cannabis was there. And I always gave Com props because, you know, they got the joint on One Day It'll All Make Sense. And not too many people was doing songs with Cannabis at that time. And it was like, yo, that's dope that Com ain't try to duck that wreck. He ain't try to, you know. What you gonna say, Vern?
The fun thing about Cannabis right now, he'll win. With the way shit is now, and like everything is kind of sectioned off where niggas that's just spitters got their own world where niggas is appreciating that for what it is, and you don't gotta go do no radio shit because that ain't what you do. Now, like if that nigga was to drop now, even with that shit he did then, it will work right now.
He's still dropping. His style is like super different though. Like I ain't really trying to speak negatively about him, but I ain't really too big on how he coming now. I mean, it's still Biz, but I miss the rapid fire. Like it's different. And I understand with age and maturity, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing gonna stay the same forever. So I definitely understand. I'm not talking down on it, but this version of Biz, in my maybe it's just nostalgia. I'm 10, 12 years old when I first heard Cannabis, so maybe it's just nostalgia. But I feel like I have a great ear for MCs too. So when I listened to 96, 98 Biz, and I tapped in with the Horseman shit he did with Chino XL and Corrupt and Raz Cass. I tapped in with I can't remember the last project he put out. I think it was with One Soul Producer. It was dope, but it's not that Biz from 96 to 98. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to date him or nothing like that, but it's like I don't know. He's still raw. You can tell he still got it, but it's the same with M. Like I loved M when he first came out. I ain't really been on M in a minute like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's nostalgia, but I feel like I know what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? And I like certain versions of motherfuckers better than current versions.
It's funny because with Cannabis, when he put out that dud, I never checked for him again, man. I ain't even gonna hold
about the debut. The debut.
Yeah, the debut.
The 2000 BC was better than that shit.
Like but I think, again, for me, and I think for a lot of folk, it's like it's almost like you were scout for the Sixers, and JR been telling me about this nigga who nice as fuck, and I fly out to Yugoslavia to see that nigga, and this nigga put up a brick, nigga, I ain't flying the fuck back, like nah.
But that's what it was back then, like getting the vibe from my older cousins. My older cousin is a big part of me being the MC that I am, like, and just being a shorty, but being able to realize and understand you didn't get no second chance back then.
Yeah.
If you if you made your resume and you know what I'm saying, you was killing mixtapes and shit, and it was time for you to drop that debut, if that shit was a dud, you might as well forget about it, bro. Back to the block, back to wherever you was working at.
Right. And the thing is Cannabis was the shit. Like, you're not like an OKMC. We ain't talking about somebody who like Kid Hood, like on the Scenario remix, you know, a Little Buzz. Cannabis was it. He was it. You were supposed to be the next Mike Tyson, and nigga, you got knocked out in the first fucking round. Like, nah, nigga, we ain't coming back for this fight no more. Like, we watched Mike to see destruction take place. You know what I mean?
That I see like Cannabis. They mishandled him. They didn't know what to do with it. That's the same shit.
That Wyclef thing,
That's the same thing Jordan did with Rage. Rage was the hottest shit in the world. And they waited like 2 years to drop an album, and it was a brick. They didn't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? Because they both just were spitters. They didn't want to make no other kind of shit. And like I said, back in that day, it was about you had to have a record. You needed one. It was like you had to. You remember that was the day where you had to have a girl record or this record, and them niggas didn't have those. They was just MCs.
Cannabis definitely was a victim of bad timing because he dropped in '98, where you just had Capital Punishment. Like, niggas had them big. You had Hard Knock Life and you had Capital Punishment. You had Noriega. Niggas had big ass records. Cannabis had the I Honor You joint. You know what I'm saying? In second round KO, but he wasn't that type of artist that was gonna give you a Can I Get Her or a motherfucking
or even a remix to I'm not gonna be a player no more. Pun and Joe. That was undeniable.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Cannabis wasn't that type of artist. I feel like it would have served him better if he would have came out in '96. I don't know what the
you're 100% right. It's the timing, because by the time you're in '98, you're now getting a Nori with what you know what I mean. You getting into Super Thug. You getting in the NORE. You getting into a whole nother sound of music that's not really about spitting like that. You know what I mean?
Niggas are still getting a hardcore shit off, but you have to have at least 2 or 3 big joints ready to go. And Cannabis just wasn't that. You know
and here's the sad part, bro. The sad part about that, and we even started tapping into the 2000s, is the same thing they did with Cassidy and Fab and Kiss. It's like, why are you signing these street rappers for them to make radio songs? Like, Cassidy grew up on my block. The nigga, I opened my door, I could see that nigga's house. Like, that nigga was the boy B. That nigga used to battle every night in Philly. Niggas used to come on our block 20 deep. We thinking niggas coming to Rumble. They just coming to battle Cassidy. This nigga's taking no L's. I'm telling everybody, yo, my young boy. And then Hotel comes out, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Niggas giving me the blues, bro. You talk about niggas fucking with you? Oh, my God. My New York niggas burnt my house down. Yo, this your man with Batman and Robin in the video with a mask on? And I'm like, okay, it's the first single. Just wait till the next one. Gets no better with Mushonda? Like, this is your man? I'm like, fuck, man. But it was the same with Fab. Niggas from Brooklyn was talking about Fab Sport on the Clue tape, Fab Sport. Then I hear him with the da-da-da-da, and I'm like, this da-da-da man, the da-da man. I used to call Fab the da-da man. I was like, all my Brooklyn niggas, the da-da man is your guy. And but so again, I never understood why they were signing these hood rappers who could really rap to make radio songs. Shit, I'm still waiting for an Incredible Jadakiss album that I've never got.
Yo, Cassidy made me look like a fool. Cause
being you both, nigga. He lived on my block. He made me look much more of a fool than you.
But listen. In the freeway battle, he said, "Come to Lime Kim Pike. I'm like a celebrity." I grew up on Lime Kim Pike, not on his side of Lime Kim, but that was my street, Lime Kim Pike. When he came out, I'm like, yo, he about to kill. Cause I done heard the freestyles. I heard him on the radio in Philly all the time. When that shit dropped, that Hotel, yo, he barely rapped on that song, bro. Like, he spent like 4 bars and then it was singing. Like, it was crazy. I was like, oh my God, come on, Switch.
but that's what I was going to say. But see, that's the thing that I tell cats all the time. Like, this is all my era, not Cassidy. He's after, but Cannabis and we were talking about A+ and all. Like, everybody can rhyme. Like, that was the prerequisite for you to get signed. You had to have skills. Like, everybody can rhyme, but there's a science to making records, and that's the part where a lot of cats got tripped up. You know what I mean? And they try to take a formula that somebody did and copy and paste the formula. but it doesn't work like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to somehow figure out a way to merge your skill level with the record and for it to come off. And there are only a few people that could do that. Like Big. Big was a master at that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Jay, Jay eventually grew into that.
He learned how to do that.
He didn't
he
start
learned how
off
to do
that. But it's a science. It's a science to that, and that's the part that a lot of cats miss. A lot of cats.
But you know what? The other part, you know, to me, Trey, another part of science sometimes is just make good shit. And I'm not blaming the artist because the label is doing that. And I'll give you a great example. MOP's joint. What was the joint they had with Jay-Z over the Rocky sample? That was supposed. What was it? God, you muted.
4 Alarm Blaze.
4 Alarm Blaze.
Yeah, that was it.
That was supposed to be what blew MOP up. It's the Rocky beat. Everybody knows it. We got a Jay-Z verse on it. That song did nothing. What becomes MOP's biggest hit? Annie Up, a song about robbing niggas. No formula, no nothing. Just go make a dope ass song that's undeniable. But here's the difference: they're on Loud. So Loud is not gonna be in the air the same way a Full Surface or the labels that are signing Cassidy and Jadakiss into making a radio song. But that to me is why it's hard to try to follow that formula, because on paper, it's like when you look at a team, you look at the roster, you be like, whoo, it's a playoff team, and then the motherfuckers don't even make the playoffs. Like, it looks good on paper. Like, how can we not go wrong? Everybody loves the Rocky song. We got Jigga on the verse. This is it right here. That shit did nothing.
Because that's an industry formula, and it's a one-size-fit-all formula, but in reality, it's not one-size-fit-all, because a great rapper is not necessarily a great writer of songs.
That is
so. In their mind, it's one size fit all. Oh, he can rap, so he can definitely rap about A, B, C, D. We just got to get him away from the hardcore shit and make him rap about that. It's not one size fit all, bro. I got the baby fro. I can't put on a fucking 7 1/4 fitted. Like, it's not one size fit all, bro. I gotta go get the adjustable, the snapback, something, bro. Like, the industry had it wrong. That's why I'm glad the industry failed the way they did. They still run shit to a certain degree, but the industry put a lot of bullshit in the game. They told us you couldn't be a star if you was over 25. They told us you couldn't be a star if you was 30 plus. They told us you couldn't come back if you fucking had a dud. The industry put a lot of bullshit in the game, bro.
God, I'm the perfect example. I'm a walking testimony. Is the theme. I did not rap like that before the theme, but the theme, sitting with D-Dot, the theme, there was a science to it, because the bars were still there. If you go back and dissect those verses, the bars are still there. But that record sounded different than everything else, but it still was in the rotation of the Hypnotizers. It was still in the rotation of the Benjamins. You know what I'm saying? Because there was still a science behind that particular record. You know what I'm saying?
But D-Dot, how much would you say D-Dot helped craft them?
100%. Because he taught me how to let the record breathe. I wasn't letting records breathe prior to that. I was a spitter just like everybody else that got signed during that time.
But I think that's the key. You had D-Dot.
I had the coach. That's what that goes.
Yeah, like you had Tex Winter. You had the triangle. Like Cassidy didn't. Jada didn't.
Exactly, and that goes back to my point. It's a science, and every MC. Matter of fact, I'd say 99.999% of the MCs don't know how to make records. You have to be coached to make a great record. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And you gotta have a great coach.
Yes.
To have you.
Yes.
Have that record.
Absolutely.
Amir, who your last two, bro?
Well, I'm gonna go with OC.
Which one? I'm trying to see if you about to take something.
It's only one. Go ahead.
It's only one. Time's up.
There you go.
That's right. And my other one.
There's only one.
I mean, to make you say
right.
Yeah. And my other one is gonna be for. I wasn't just based it on lyricism, but approach, attack, and one of the most legendary flows that was the first swing to my knowledge, and Cadence and was Das Effects on Just As Men remix by Pete. Those two records was crazy.
Bro, let me explain something to you. How I hate the lie from the pit of hell that Das Effects was a one-hit wonder.
Who said that?
Who said that?
A lot of people have said that.
What?
And keep in mind, it's the younger generation, and it's because and it's because it's what stations like VH1 have said. You know, people who don't know anything about hip hop. Like I've seen, they peg Biz as a one-hit wonder for just a friend.
Hold on. I'm 36. I'm 36, right? Like I wasn't big on Das Effects. That was a little bit before I really got into rap. I know they wasn't no one-hit wonders. I remember their names and I remember seeing videos, and it was definitely more than one joint.
Yeah, like VH1s that do that.
And then what happens is when they do that, the younger generation clings on to that and they run with it. You know,
I ain't even know that was a thing. In all honesty.
Oh yeah.
I know VH1 did like VH1 did like a joint with like 100 one-hit wonders, and I was pissed when I saw Biz on there. I was like, "Word!" And people take it and they run with it too. Like, it's like,
but we have to if we gonna
real motherfuckers not looking at VH1 though.
Not even
that's true, God.
That. But when did this texture of hip hop ever go to a corporation for validation of what was hot? Anything in our top 100? Because I just want to say this: when do we get to pick somebody else's culture? What's top 100 in nation?
Right. Real.
No. Bro,
So I'm saying that because I hear the word generation and I hear the word generational and things that are attached to certain isms that, you know what I'm saying, that's why, in my opinion, right, if we're talking about hip hop and what it means to us right now, the earth is 4.5 billion fucking years old, my nigga. We talking about us writing songs that stretch for 2 to 3 minutes versus 4.5 billion years of evolution. So at any point, if we let anybody outside of the people that are involved in our culture talk about, and we actually use it as a pivot. Not saying you wrong, but this is just grown men having, jousting of the minds, right? I could never use something that's not from my culture to measure my culture.
Bro, keep in mind, I'm not agreeing with any of this shit. What I'm saying is that you got it, and that's why I do this, is because while the younger generation, because here's the thing, the younger generation who want to learn about hip hop, who have the open ears, are the OGs there to school them. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. A lot of motherfuckers aren't.
Fact.
A lot of people will tell people, you go find that shit the same way I did.
Yeah.
So I'm not agreeing with it. The reason why Apartment 5B is here is to get away from that VH1 bullshit. You calling Biz a one-hit wonder? Let me tell you why Biz isn't a one-hit wonder. You calling Das a one-hit wonder? Let me explain to you why they not a one-hit wonder. But there was some show that somebody sent me the other day. It's called The Origins of Hip Hop, and they sent me the trailer. It was Kill What You Think. I said, bullshit. They said, why? I said, you're talking about the origins of hip hop, and you got Fat Joe, Eve, you got Little John, like, and Luke, and niggas is like, well, Kill, what was you mad at Luke is 60? I said, nigga, it ain't about the age, but when the word origin, that means the beginning. That means where it started from. So if you have a show called The Origin of Hip Hop, then it should be talking about Herc, Bam, and Flash. It should be talking about those. That's the origin.
Only one I watch.
But because here's the thing, because a young kid who wants to learn about hip hop is going to watch that like, okay, let me get out my pen and pad. I want to learn about the origin of hip hop. And that young kid's going to come talking to us, talking about Fat Joe is the origin of hip hop. And we're going to be like, nigga, Fat Joe ain't even the origin of digging in the crates. Fuck is you talking about? Yeah. But where did they get that from? This TV show. So this is exactly why we have to put together things like this. We, as the culture, as the people who are protectors of the culture, it's like, oh, that's what y'all doing? Well, let me start a show to combat the bullshit you doing, so that we got something else for you to come to.
It's like the
so again, I'm not saying any of us are looking for VH1, but for that kid, it's almost like that kid who don't got a father who gets caught up in the gang shit. Why? Because he's looking for somebody to be loved by. So when somebody does have opening, people say it all the time on Twitter, Killer, I don't know how you got the patience. I don't know how you deal with this. You know why? It's the educator in me. I educate. I've been doing it for 22 years. Because if I don't, then where's that kid going to go to? VH1. So again, I challenge all us OGs. We can't talk shit about this next generation if we ain't providing, if we ain't talking to this next generation. And a lot of us aren't. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. A lot of us are.
Word. Yep. Yep. You said.
So again, I don't. But back to DOS. I want to go on DOS and OC because I want to give them their love. So what was it about DOS and the Just Some Men joint for you?
Well, the first thing that stood out to me about DOS Effects was their posture on most of their beats, right? Not posture, style, and balance, right? And regardless of what they were saying, it was one of the first artists it's how they said it. Mm-hmm. And everybody was coming through with the biggity, you know, but they couldn't, like he said before, you didn't want to hear anybody else doing that, but these niggas, like Pusha T talking about coke rap. When DOS Effects did that shit, nobody wanted to hear nobody else do it but them, right? According to, you know, people who really were deep entrenched in the culture at that time. And I mean, being a spectator from behind a window is not like an active member, but
right.
So what I will say is, for me, the allure was, I got into the more when I heard the remix.
That remix.
It was a tape that I had, and it was on there, and I was just rewind it, and it was just a little something like, and then it was like, you know, it was light.
That slick Rick, something like this.
Yeah, it was light, but it was still gritty. It to me.
Well, it's the
it was a balance. It was a balance of grittiness, soulfulness. It had ugly, gritty shit, but it was pretty at the same time. It was just a real ill collage of musicality meets wordplay for DOS Effects for me.
I feel you. And the OC, talk about that, bro.
And for OC, that was one of my first. I forgot who put me on. I don't know if I've seen it, but I just remember when I saw. Matter of fact, I'm lying. My sister had stole a VHS tape, and it had like recorded episodes of Yo MTV Raps, and I popped it in. And I saw OC on the roof of the building. He had the season shit with the sweater and the chain, the V-neck sweater. I said, "Oh, this is a fly nigga." That's the first thing I was looking at. This nigga's fly shit. And he then they played Time's Up, and you lack the minerals and vitamins. Nice and nice. And it was just the attack. It was just
you lack the minerals and vitamins, nigga. Man,
who that IFS?
Come on, bro.
We talked about this on the show that we did about setting off your rhymes. The 5 best top. This is one of them.
And I remember, facts. And I remember it wasn't overproduced. It wasn't underproduced.
It was perfect.
It was a mesh of, you could see that they were just they were present and having fun, and the way he marched, because that was a march to me. It was a drill, a constant drill down, like he was drilling his shit down to the floor. The niggas really caught what was going on. And Your Time's Limited, Hard Rocks too. It was just so gritty, like. And then when I seen it come back, and I saw it in Eminem's 8 Mile or whatever. I don't know, man. It just rekindled something, and I was like, you know what? This nigga really hard. That I want to, you know, that verse was stellar to me.
Yeah, clinic. That's a clinic.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Non-exceptional. Everybody.
Hey, I heard.
Oh my god!
I heard search.
You was in church with your moms, nigga. Just like
Hey, I heard Serge talking. I heard Serge talking about that. That
was a lie. You was in church with your mom. See, slow your roll. Give it to go. You got some guys be laughing and shit. Rapping for the door. It's the principle of it. I get a rush when I bust some dope lines that maybe somebody would quote. Like,
come on, man.
And to me, that line defines how I approach right now in this current state where I'm at. Is it the rush of writing some shit that somebody would quote? I told you before, I got 16 opportunities on you niggas to make y'all walk away with one bar. If I could make a nigga fuck with one bar, he gonna find something else in his verse or other shit I may do. 16 shots to make you walk away with a quotable. If I can't hit 16 shots, free throws, my nigga. I don't need to be in the league.
Facts.
Nah, that's facts. That's facts. I'm sorry, God. What was you gonna say, God?
No, I was saying, I heard Serge, he was on IG Live with Royce, and he was talking about how OC came with that joint. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he said that was the last joint for Word Life.
Yeah.
Like they was looking for that one joint, and he was like, him and OC was damn near coming to blows. Like, bro, like it ain't ready. You ain't got it. It ain't ready. And OC like, nigga, what? And I don't know if it was a little resentment towards Nas and that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you let this little nigga, you know what I'm saying? He got it, but I don't have it. And then he didn't understand what Serge was saying according to Serge. And Serge was like, he just came to him one day like, I got it. I understand what you're saying. I got it. And that's the same shit Serge quoted, the fucking opening lines. And I'm like, that shit crazy. That was a dope ass story the way he told it. But if I'm not mistaken, that was the last joint for Word Life. That's crazy.
Man, I don't know about y'all, but if a motherfucker come up to me talking about you lack the minerals and vitamins, nigga, I'm
like, disrespect. Straight disrespect in the most health concerning way. Like, my nigga. Hey, you ain't got it. You ain't got it.
You said it, like, I'm concerned about your health, but nigga, you ain't the one, my nigga.
You ain't got it, bro.
I don't want no parts of that shit, man.
No, I always tell Trey the most ironic part about that line is when I heard it, I ain't even know niacin was real. I take that shit now for my cholesterol. That's how crazy it was. I thought it was some made up shit. I didn't even know it was real.
Well, no, it's crazy.
My doctor was like, yo, I need you to start taking niacin. I was like, oh shit. Like, was on some real shit, huh? Okay. So yeah, definitely.
What'd you say, man?
And he didn't clear that sample for Time's Up in 8 months, but he had a nice quiet check for that one. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Trey, who you got up for your last joint, good brother?
Man, so while you fuming, I'm consuming mango juice under Polaris. You just embarrassed. This is your last tango in Paris. Even after all my logic and my theory,
I had a motherfucker for you ignorant niggas.
Do I need to explain this shit?
No.
Nah, you don't.
No.
Nah.
Even after all my logic and all my that shit to me, like, I knew Light was hard. Like, Light was hard. You know what I'm saying? Latifah hard. I fuck with Salt and Pepper and all that shit. You know what I mean? But when Lauryn Hill stepped on the scene, man, it was like a meteor. It was like some shit just came from the heavens above and the fucking eyes opened up and this moment just happened. Who in the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? And I haven't seen that since.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Nope. Nah, you crazy. You right. That joint was crazy. That joint was crazy. Yeah. Bro, what you got for your last joint, bro?
My last two, I got the first joint. This song was like a gift and a curse to this MC's career, but I just remember when I first heard it, I was like, yo, this dude is going crazy. And that's Exhibit C, Jay Electronica. Yo, like, he went, like, I don't know if you could do any better on that track, bro. He went crazy. When that nigga said, they call me Jay Electronica, Jay Elect Tramadan, Muhammad Assalamaka, Rasulullah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala through your monitor. I said, that's it. That's it. Put this shit off. This shit is
yo. He had me on. I was on Broad Street. 23rd
Broad Street. That line was the best shit since Dead in the Middle of Little Italy, bro.
Yeah,
that line was the best.
Nah, that nigga said niggas was behind him like the Verizon. My fans behind me like the Verizon.
That's what me and you were just talking about the other day, man. That's what we was just talking about.
He said no, the niggas was calling us lame, then jacking out with slang. He was talking heavy. He was talking heavy.
Broad Street Master. North.
How did I forget Exhibit C, bro? I'm so mad at myself.
You know what?
Right now.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. When he did that song, I didn't even know where the nigga was from. That's how you didn't know whether he was from down south of New York. He was just like a fucking enigma out of the sky.
You talking about Trey? You talking about Lauren coming out the sky? That's the same thing. That was the same thing with J-Elect. And then the beat just killed that Exhibit C beat. Like that was 2009, and I remember that. That was like December 2009. Like that ended 2009 off. And
you know how dope that record was. He had motherfuckers still hanging on for 10 years.
10 years.
After the fact, bro.
That's
how
good
that
one joint.
Yeah, he did.
One joint, bro.
One joint.
One joint.
Yep.
That was another one of them motherfucking joints. I'm like, damn, bro, I'll probably never be this nice. Like, I'm literally mad. But like, I'm listening to this shit like, damn, this shit cold as hell. I'm mad at how cold this nigga is. And it was so effortless. Like, he wasn't saying no super lyrical, spiritual spirit. Like, it wasn't that. Like, his flow was just so concise and so fucking well placed. Like, this nigga Jay Electronica sounds like he's another disciple of Rakim. Like, niggas that's real precise and real technical with where they play shit, how they say it, and how it come off, bro. Like, it felt so simple, but it was different. Like,
I just want to say this to the room. Y'all niggas don't analyze my flow. You hear me? That's all I'm saying. I don't want y'all trying to critique my shit like, yo, syllabic. The spasms with the massivisms.
Too late. I've analyzed all y'all niggas. I've analyzed all y'all niggas.
Bro, when you talk about J-Elect, that nigga says something on the Reflection Eternal album. That nigga said, I'm in New York now like Akeem and Simi was, trying to get the lobby door open from a Simi buzz.
Oh my God, bro.
I'm like Akeem and Simi was. And if you've ever tried to get in the projects, you know how you trying to get the lobby door open from a Simi. The buzz ain't never always from a Simi buzz.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And who's your second one? Because we can talk about Exhibit C all night.
I got a whole bunch, but I had Nas New York State of Mind. That's self-explanatory. But I'm gonna go with this one. A clinic on two artists going back and forth. I'm gonna go Kiss and Styles on We Gon' Make It. That song to me. That song perfect. That song's perfect. And then Kiss came in at the end with the final verse by itself, and he just spazzed. Like that song right there is perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I heard that beat. Razzcast had that beat first.
Yeah, and Raz ain't do what they did.
And I love Razzcast, but he couldn't do what they did to that beat.
Not at all.
I mean, I'm glad that Raz came out, because I want people to understand that it's not always just the beat. You know what I mean? Because with Styles and Kiss, that beat sounds crazier than with Razzcast doing it. Like, I remember seeing an Alchemist Just Blaze battle, and when they put on We Gon' Make It, the whole crowd lost it. If that would have been Razzcast song, the crowd is not losing shit. You know what I mean? And that's no disrespect to Razzcast, but I like that it came out so that people could understand that when, like Trey is talking about making, not just writing a radio song, just making a good song. Yeah. And it just not being bars. Raz came to bar people. Jada and Kiss barred you, but they did it in a song mode.
Because yo,
you know what I mean?
If you listen to, like, I listen to Raz's, he says some like ridiculously crazy shit in that song, but it don't hit like, I mean, for that song, it just don't hit like how Styles and Kiss did.
The way it sets off with that fuck, that frail, that's it right there. That's it.
Scale that they way to
my bathtub flip up, my walls do a 360. We got the shit that the government got.
Talk money.
Nigga, he got one of the dopest rhymes ever. You know that rappers get better promotion.
That nigga say he be alright though.
He be alright though. You know that rappers get
promotion.
Pockets,
but here's the wild part. But here's the wild part. The average person, or somebody may say, well, Ras Kass is a better lyricist than Kiss. Somebody may say that, and I'm not mad at it.
I don't care, but he wasn't getting off on the thing.
Not like that.
Exactly.
You gotta have pocket presence in order to make a great song. I call it pocket presence.
Yes.
Pocket presence. Remember that.
And
So when you analyze my flow, did I have pocket presence?
man, you have a mastery of pocket presence.
Oh my God!
I just want to see if you was a Jedi. Listen,
no, I'm a Jedi Knight, nigga. I'm Obi-Wan. I'm Obi-Wan.
Hey, let me tell you something. Trey Lee is going to analyze. I sent him one song and he told me 72 things about that song. What was good? What I could fix? What he's thorough like that for real.
Here's the last gem I want to give to y'all, because I said that G-Rap was the first time I heard somebody just bar that long, and it wasn't. It actually was MC Lyte off of this joint, the first Priority Basement Flavor album, dropped in 1989 on a joint called Survival of the Fittest. The remix ended up on the second album, Eyes on This, but I'm not talking about the remix, the OG version. Lyte went for 68 straight bars. This dropped before Men at Work did. So again, I want to give this drop before Men at Work. So that's why I said, when I said Men at Work, I said he was the first. And I said, nah, I gotta hold that till later. The first was MC Lyte.
It was the same year though.
Same year. Yeah. But just the fact that Lyte was still in that 68 straight bar. Like, so it's Lyte and G-Rap. So same year, but at the end of the day, they were the only two that were doing 60 plus bars in a verse. So definitely want to give Lyte credit for that. You know what I mean? So, yo, I know I held this late tonight, but goddamn, we're going to need about 4 or 5 hours for this MC show. We're going to have to break that down to P. I'm taking notes right now, but we're going to talk about that when I stop, because niggas be biting my shit. Trey, let them know where they can get at you, bro.
Absolutely. If you're going to my website, it's TracyLeeMusic.com. That's TracyLee music.com. I'm also on YouTube at Left LLEFT TV. Of course, you know, IG is Tracy Lee ESQ. TikTok, same thing, Tracy Lee ESQ. Facebook, if you're still fucking with that, Tracy Lee, and Twitter is TRAYLEE, Trey Lee.
All right. Vern, tell them about Idle Mind and that Serene 2 that's coming.
Idle Mind, man, is everywhere on all the DSPs. You can search it. What Up Vern? There's a link under everywhere you can find me. There's a link under it where you can take you everywhere you need to go, to the Bandcamp, to the titles, Apple Music, etc. Furthermore, and all that. And yeah, I'm working on the follow-up to my Serene project. I don't know if you heard it. If you haven't gone in, check it out. I'm trying to drop that around September sometime. It's sounding crazy. And yeah, just want to say thank you still for those that still rocking with that Idle Mind. And we still got more tricks up our sleeves with that one too. So stay tuned. What Up Vern everywhere. One word. What Up Vern.
Rel, let them know where they can get at you, good brother.
All right, Uptown Rel 215 on the gram. JBen215 on Twitter. My first single is out. It's called Let This Be a Lesson. I'm about to put it out. It's on my YouTube. It's linked under my bio, everything. And I'm working on the album. It's called Caught in a Moment. Be out in September. And that's it.
All right. Amir, tell them where they can get at you, good brother.
Yeah, peace. You can get at me on Twitter at 25th Hour Man, number 2, 5THHOURMAN. On IG, it's AMXXR with dots in between it. Right now, like I said, and make sure if you haven't heard 21 Grams, Work This Weight in Soul, you know, take a spin on it. It's on SoundCloud, Bandcamp, and Audio Mac right now. Then make
where can I get the vinyl? I brought this so long ago, I forgot.
You can get that vinyl. I think if they have more, I think it's at Vinyl Space.
Oh yeah, vinyl
index.com, right? Yeah, they have
beautiful red joint too. I love when vinyl is different colors. So beautiful red joint right there. Red and black. That was my favorite Jordan, the bread. So whenever somebody come out with a bread album, I'm loving it.
Yeah, so we have that 21 grams, and just be on the lookout for me dropping a mixtape. I don't know what I'm gonna name it yet. I might have thought of a name in 2 seconds, but I might name it "God Is My Cousin." I don't know what I'm gonna name this thing, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a fire mixtape name. I don't want anybody to jack the vibes. Listen, that's a fire.
No, that's hot though. I like that. That's kind of fun. Yeah, that's hot.
Okay, that's the name of my. That's what I'm naming the tape. Then fuck it. So yeah. That's my mixtape.
God Is My Cousin about to drop.
Right? Yeah. That's gonna be entitled the tape probably because I'm dead serious about that. And I'm and Dope Boy Soda album is to be announced. Top to bottom, man. I think it's a great project, you know. Hopefully. Yeah, and I'm thankful and I'm humbled and I wanna just say, not to reset the room, I wanna thank all of you brothers in here tonight, man, for being of the pedigree and the fiber that you are, man. Like I want to salute all you, brothers, man, because we here and we spent one of our most precious commodities tonight, which is our time with each other. Thanks. So I just want to thank y'all for that, man. Salute y'all, man, for putting up with my bullshit. You know what I mean? I ain't even gonna brush my hair.
I was about to say, you gotta take us out here with the brush, Chicago. You can't.
So with that being said, it's been a lookout for me. The album with P Rock, Dope Boy Soul, and more records from True Soul. Records I got with Kill and a number of the producers from. Damn, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of guys, man. Shanghai, Arsonist, and damn, I don't want to make anybody mad, but yeah, I got a ton of shit that I've been cooking, man, and just thankful to be here, man. I appreciate and I love this shit, man, because I really. Being this bitch spit until my eyes burn, bro, every night. So, hope y'all hear that when that conveyed through my music when I give it to y'all, because my freestyle, I'm in drill down mode. You know what I'm saying? It's 2 guns up and now, so let's have some fun, man. That's all.
I feel you, bro. God, where can they get at you, good brother?
Hey, real quick, I know we hitting the 3-hour mark, but I ain't get my 5th one off, so I'm gonna.
Oh, my bad. And JR, I know I gotta come to you too. I gotta come to you too.
It's all right. It's all good. I gotta get this one off. Cause this hometown shit. My 5th one was Twista, Victory at Death, from the first legit balling compilation. Like that nigga Twista.
I never heard that. Hold up, say it again.
Victory or Death. I believe it's the first joint from the first legit balling compilation. LEGITBALLIN legit balling. He after Adrenaline Rush, this was like early 2000s, like he did some shit called Legit Ballers. That was kind of like his clique, you know what I'm saying? But it's Legit Ballin' Volume 1, and the song was called Victory or Death. Like that nigga was going absolutely crazy on that. So last but not least, the hometown hero, legendary Twista. You know what I'm saying? But y'all can get at me at IG and Twitter at GodMC. That's GAWDEMCEE. Like I said, I'm coming off that Murder Castle produced entirely by the homie The Black Depths. Been getting a lot of good, positive feedback off that, you know what I'm saying? Ecstatic about the constant forward trending trajectory, you know what I'm saying? We on some grassroots shit with the filthy shit, no mediocre. I'm planning on dropping at least one more project before the year is over. I don't want to let no cats out the bag and ain't nowhere near completion. So I'm gonna just be mum on that until it's time to, do my 1-2. But yeah, man, Chicago never forgot how to rap. We in this motherfucker. Filthy Records, the Dirt Up Here, a Filthy album, the compilation out now, streaming everywhere. Murder Castle streaming everywhere. Tap in, fuck with us, man. Chicago never forgot how to rap. We more than drill out here.
Yeah, that's what it is, bro. JR, well, where can I get at you, good brother?
Just the R&B representatives on Instagram, R&B Reps on Twitter. By the time this come out, we'll be talking to the girl that spoke to Whitney Houston on the MTV Fanatic. So that's I'll catch that episode. So we'll be rocking with her. And me and Elise is getting back on the radio in August. So look out for that. So we doing that. And yeah, so just catch that.
And then by the time this comes out, and it's midnight now, so happy born day, JR. Young boy. It is midnight.
Born day. Happy born
hold on.
day.
Do I need to play Q-Tip Vibing Thing? Okay, my bad. I'm just saying, just making sure shit was,
Damn, I didn't even realize. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
Oh,
yes, happy born day. How old are you, man, since you've been in studio since 1942? How old are you?
63.
63. All right, that's about right. You already know this with me. Kill 889 Twitter and IG. Idle Mind is out. griovrn.bandcamp.com. I stand by the album. I think it's some of my best work production wise, so definitely check it out. Just like God said, fuck with us. I give y'all money back guarantee. I told niggas from the door, if you buy it, you don't like it, give me a cash app and I'll send you the money back. Thankfully, I haven't had to give anybody their money back, but I stand by that shit. Nigga said that, I'd be like, nigga, no problem. It's $12. Like, you got it. I'm sorry you ain't enjoy it. It ain't. That's why I just need folk to get at a place where I'm not offended if you don't like my shit. My shit is not. Everybody isn't for them. Nigga, people be getting mad. You don't like my shit. You don't fuck me. I don't fuck with you. Dog, if you don't like it, no harm, no foul. Thank you for listening. To me, that's all I can ask of anybody in life is an opportunity. You give me the interview and I bomb the interview, I'm not mad at you, dog. You know what I mean? Like, all you can ask for is an opportunity. So if you give me an opportunity in your rotation, I appreciate that. And if you ain't feeling it, I want to give you your money back, because I hated wasting money when I was coming up, buying albums, and be like, yo, that shit whack. You know what I mean? So that's how much we stand behind the music. So, but I appreciate y'all. We will rap next week, good peoples.